Of Sportstime on Sports 56 with Gabe and Stats. We're always live from the Family Leisure Studios in beautiful Memphis, Tennessee. Brett is on hand today. I'm Gabe Kuhn. My partner does pre and post for the Ole Miss Football Radio Network. He is Brett Stats Norsworthy. Brett, hello, and good to see you in the flesh.
Great to see y'all, and great to see the ice out of the trees. Now let's get all the power on.
Yeah, I still need power. I heard Greg Gaston this morning, too, on Sports 56.
Ooh, I did, too.
Yeah.
It's been tough on Greg.
Yeah, I think everybody who's
without
power is still pretty frustrated at this moment. Producing the program, Go Tigers 247, writer Bryant Dacus. Bryant, hello.
Hey there.
Hey, Bryant.
First hour of our show is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. We have plenty to get to today. Tigers play Tulane tomorrow for fourth place in the AAC. Also, Amani Bates is back in town, according to Jason Munz. We bring on Dave Woloshin, voice of the Tigers, to talk to us at 3:30 about all of that. 3:45. We usually do our remote at Dinstall's on today, but it's a virtual one this year. It's very unfortunate we can't be there as normal, but we will have details to give you throughout the day on the deals that Dinstall's will have through Valentine's Day and beyond. Becky Dinstall will join us at 3:45 to discuss that. Brian Harsin, Auburn. There's some smoke there. Still no moves being made, but Auburn has released some statements, and there's a lot going on in the recruiting sort of portion of college football, the transfer portal, and also Miami has poached two good coordinators in Josh Gaddis and Kevin Steele. We'll talk to Brent Beard at 4 o'clock about all of that. 4:30, we bring on Drew Hill from the Daily Memphian for some Grizzlies talk. Grizz versus Clippers tonight, All-Star game coming up, and the trade deadline is rapidly approaching. At 4:45, it's kind of interesting because yesterday, before we got off the air, we had all 9 new hires in the NFL. All the positions have been filled. We sort of talked about it, touched on some of the notes from this cycle, but we are going to give you our best new and worst new hire at 4:45. 5 o'clock, we'll sort of stay on that topic with Beau Marchant on the NFL at Super Bowl week, Senior Bowl. He was there on hand. We'll talk to him about some of the Memphis guys, some of the Ole Miss guys, some of the guys that he liked there. Also, there's an interesting story on Kyler Murray, and he deleted all his Instagram sort of posts pertaining to the Cardinals that I sort of want to talk to him about. 5:45, we get out with Taco Bell Crunch Time. AutoZone listener line 901-360-8255. You can also watch us live and message us on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and at Sports56WHBQ.com. Brett, how's it going?
Going well. Game number 56 tonight for the Grizzlies. So when we get to the All-Star game, people don't need to say we've made it to the halfway point. We've made it to the All-Star break. That's what we will have made it to. I mean, I remember not that long ago, because of the lockout, the Grizzlies only played a 66-game season.
Mm-hmm. And we know what the Grizzlies are at this point. It's not
sure
like
do.
we're going to see any of these teams going into the All-Star break and then after the All-Star break, it's not like they're going to change drastically. You already have enough basketball behind you. You know what you are at this point in the season. You know what you're going to see after. But there are some teams that made some shakeups today. And I don't know how to feel about these, Brett. A lot of sort of poverty franchises making poverty deals.
A lot of cap space move.
Yeah, but what are they going to be able to do with the cap space is the question. There's some trade exceptions being created, and I just don't know.
Party's over in Portland, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll start with the Blazers.
Never led to anything either.
We'll start with the Blazers. Josh Hart, they get Josh Hart, Tomas Satoransky, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Didi Louzada, a 2022 protected first-round pick, and 2 second-round picks. And they give away C.J. McCollum, Larry Nance, and Tony Snell to the Pelicans.
And there was a time that C.J. McCollum and Damian Lillard was the best backcourt in the league.
Yes, there was always some sort of shortcomings, wasn't there? They were small defensively. They never got anything done. And they tried to blame it on Terry Stotts and say Terry Stotts couldn't get the defense going. But we see that Chauncey Billups couldn't get the defense working as well. But
I wouldn't rush out and buy my C.J. McCollum Pelican jersey either.
No, I wouldn't either. I don't think it makes the Pelicans any better really either. I just still don't like the makeup of their team, especially if Zion can't get on the floor anytime soon.
We don't know what their team is until you see a healthy Zion that can play 75 games.
Brett, poor Damian Lillard.
He's on an island.
I know he didn't want to cheat the grind, but get the hell out of there, man. Do what you can.
Head to New York. Head to Madison Square Garden.
Request a trade. I know that it's sort of like against his morals at this point.
The big start over in Portland, isn't it?
Yes. And it's just
We know that's not pretty.
they got to the Western Conference Finals once out of all that. That feels like an epic failure. And Trailblazers are not by any stretch of the imagination some power in the NBA. They've never been a good franchise. They've never been a very good franchise. But this is blowing up.
Once drafted LaRue Martin, number 1 overall. That should jinx you forever, shouldn't it?
Yes, but I feel like Blazers fans thought this was the roster they could actually get it done with. I'm sure Dame thought that as well, but nope. And you also sort of rewind to them just a few days ago getting rid of Norman Powell and Robert Covington and sending them off. That team is going to look awful. That's going to be a really bad team.
I mean, they won a title with Bill Walton as their superstar. You know that's a long time ago. Mm-hmm. It is, 1977.
Yep. Now, also the Pacers and the Kings strike a deal. Pacers are trading Domantas Sabonis, Justin Holiday, and Jeremy Lamb to Sacramento for Tyrese Halliburton, Buddy Hield, and Tristan Thompson.
A lot of parts there, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of parts. And I wouldn't say by any stretch of the imagination bad parts. I think all of those guys can play a role.
Satellite players.
I think they can all play a role. But I just don't like it overly for the Kings at all. Mm-mm. And we always ask these questions about, like, why are the Kings not good? Why they have all these pieces, all these young players, and then they trade away their youngest player who's showing the most promise.
Yeah.
In Tyrese Halliburton, shooting 41% from 3, 14 points a game, 8 assists, doesn't turn the ball over all that much. And so they pair up De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis. I don't really get that match. I just don't. I don't understand what they're doing. And I hear a lot of people try to blame Vlade. Obviously,
it's easy.
It's easy to blame Vlade, but it's deeper than that. Clearly, they always make
starts with
deals.
Ownership.
Yeah, they always make dumb deals. But Sacramento, I mean,
remember when their new building was going to fix everything in Sacramento?
Sacramento, it's got to be sad to be from Sacramento and a Kings fan, because I've been to Sacramento. It ain't fun. It ain't a good California city. I'll tell you that much. And it's the only market, I think, of any NBA franchise in California that can attract any type of free agent talent in the offseason. Just absolutely none. No one wants to go to Sacramento.
No, they can't. And
no one wants to play
all
for the
these
Kings.
deals today, none of them lead to a title in the short term, and none of them have any of the fans storming the ticket office.
Yeah, I don't really understand what Sacramento's doing. Is that fair? Like, I just don't get it. Like, I just Domantas Sabonis, Justin Holiday, Jeremy Lamb, all players that I wouldn't mind having on my franchise if I was starting a franchise, but it just doesn't make sense with what they have. And they successfully traded away all their three-point shooting. Tyrese Halliburton, Buddy Hield is about all they had. Mm-hmm. De'Aaron Fox, if you haven't checked on his three-point shooting,
don't.
Just save yourself, because it's
like
dreadful.
The goal is bent like in Friday night's game with Dallas.
And has he just sort of dropped off a cliff this year? Because I thought that in the past, he's not a great three-point shooter, but he's not a 24% three-point shooter. No. He puts up still about 3-4 a game.
And when he was here with Kentucky in that great ticket-punching game to the Final Four with Kentucky against North Carolina in 2017, I thought superstar.
Yeah, he's good. I like De'Aaron.
Good star.
I would say
but
that,
not superstar.
I would say, and I don't know any Kings fans, but I hear the general consensus.
I don't know that I've ever known a Kings fan.
Honestly, that's now
and
that I
you
think
can
about
find
it,
somebody that likes
exactly.
anybody out there.
Yeah. Any Kings fans, hit us up,
Kings
901-360-8255. Let us know what you think about De'Aaron Fox. But the general consensus that I'm getting from what happened today from Kings fans via Twitter, which I'm not going to find my moral compass or really judge too much off Twitter. But it sounds
I
like
find mine at TikTok. That's the only place I look for moral compass.
Is that right?
Is at TikTok, yes.
What's your username? I'm going to go follow you.
I don't know if that's better or worse.
What's your username, Brett?
I don't have one.
You used Drip this week. Now you're talking about TikTok? My gosh.
TikTok username would be Roughhouse Fargo.
Getting younger every day, Brett.
Thank you. Trying.
But yeah,
y'all keep it that way.
The general consensus I'm getting is that Tyrese Halliburton was the fan favorite.
Oh yeah,
De'Aaron Fox is falling out of
we poke at Sacramento.
There.
Do y'all know any Bengals fans?
I actually do.
Okay, good.
My best friend's actually a Bengals fan.
Really?
A Cincinnati tie, Ohio tie. What is
Yeah,
it?
his parents are from
Okay.
Ohio.
Well, I feel like now you're gonna have a lot of Joe Burrow fans over just Bengals
Walk up
fans.
LSU sidewalk alums. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know a whole lot of Bengals fans.
Yeah, I mean, he's the only Bengals fan I know. I've never met another one.
Yeah.
I mean, for that matter, how many diehard L.A. Ram fans? L.A.
Oh, Brett, I still don't understand it. I still don't understand it. But to this day, so many St. Louis Rams fans followed.
They hang on.
They hung on, and I don't understand how you could do that.
Not
if you're from
you,
St.
though,
Louis.
Gabe. Not you.
Not Gabe, no.
Hey,
and not all my
listen.
friends I follow on Twitter. Man, there's some hate to them.
they deserve it.
You stay firm in that belief, Gabe.
Brett, you know they deserve it. Come
I
on
think
now.
they deserve it. Don't drag me into it. I think they
Okay.
deserve it. Don't get me into it with all
Okay.
that South County. I don't want that battle.
Oh gosh, but yeah, there's a bunch of people that followed them to L.A. From St. Louis.
Greg Gaston stayed a Colt fan to Indianapolis, growing up loving them in Baltimore, D.C.
I just couldn't do it, Brett. I can't
In
do it.
Jersey.
I just can't do it.
I
Sorry.
never understood why Greg wasn't an Eagles fan growing up in Jersey, but he Colt diehard.
He was closest. He was
love
closest
Burt
to
Jones.
Philly. He was closest to
Yeah.
Philly.
and a Phillies baseball fan.
Yes. Being a Philadelphia sports fan, Greg doesn't strike me as a Philadelphia sports fan.
Well, he is
If
with
that
his
makes
Phillies.
sense. With his Phillies, but he's not. He doesn't go to the lengths that they go to just sort of crap all over their team.
I mean, I don't know. I can't see
Good for
Greg
him.
booing Santa,
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to get at.
but he did help move the Colts, and he stayed a fan. But he needed cash in college.
Yeah. How many? Let's see. Who else? Fan bases that are small. Bengals. That's an interesting one. I
Bengals
feel like
pretty
you're
small.
gonna grow some more Bengals
Well,
fans
yeah.
though. through
Arizona
Joe Burrow.
Cardinals.
Arizona Cardinals. There's a
Jags.
few. Jags is always
Never
the
met a
one.
Jags fan.
No, my buddy at Memphis, Daniel Montiel's a Jags fan.
I
Really?
took
Yeah,
I took
former
a
tight
poke
end in
at-
Memphis.
I took a poke at the Jags around the cocktail party one year, Georgia and Florida, and they'll have to take those tarps off the stadium for the Georgia-Florida game, and people will be sitting in seats that there hadn't been a rear end in since the cocktail party last year. And the one Jaguar fan on Twitter came after me as I was a clown. The one Jag fan
That's
found
the
it
one.
on Twitter.
The one.
Yeah,
That's too bad.
There's about three. Come
Yeah.
on. One of three.
I think he was the only one.
What are they playing? TIAA Bank Stadium? Is that what their stadium's
I
called?
still call it the Gator Bowl.
the
Gator Bowl. It was Alltel Stadium for a while.
and
from my buddies in Little Rock, I called it that.
Jags have got to be up there with worst franchises in the history of
Oh,
sports.
100%.
And they edged out Memphis for that last team. That's the one we thought we had.
And they talk about moving elsewhere, but usually they talk about Europe and stuff. I mean, Shad Khan has too much interest in being out of the country with an NFL franchise.
Yeah, with the team now back in Los Angeles, I don't think there's a natural North American city that doesn't have an NFL team that's really deserving of one. Can you think of one? I mean, St. Louis.
St. Louis all day. There we go.
Two
No.
times. I mean, that speaks volumes.
It wasn't bad. I mean, they won.
And they're not going to Louisville.
There was a Super Bowl one.
Not going to be an NFL team in Oklahoma City. Not going to be one in Memphis. Not going to be one in
Brett,
Birmingham.
You can't act. You can say yes. There's been two franchises there in St. Louis, but you can't act like there wasn't successful moments.
Oh, they were doing dirty. You're trying to drag me into this.
Hey, you brought it up. You said two times speak volumes. You can't. No chance that St. Louis deserves one. That's what I heard. I know you didn't say it that way, but that's what I heard.
I know I didn't say it that way.
That's what I heard. That's how I took it.
But where could you – San Antonio?
No.
Jerry Jones and the McNairs are never letting that happen.
San Antonio just no. It's not a. They tried the AAF there.
They did.
Well, they've tried every league there. USFL had the
San
Gunslingers.
Antonio
You
doesn't
know who the
do
quarterback
it.
of the Gunslingers? San Antonio Gunslingers and USFL was?
Enlighten me.
Rick Neuheisel.
Oh, nice. Rick Neuheisel, Crazy Rick.
Ricky.
Yeah, he's a talker now.
It was crazy times. This Sunday, it will be fun with all the different betting you can do. The Super Bowl of betting this Sunday. FanDuel Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 56, and we can't wait. FanDuel can't wait. Everybody can't wait for the Rams to take on the Bengals. To celebrate, new customers can bet $5 to win $280 on either team to win when you use promo code CASH when registering. To get your Super Bowl odds boost, download the FanDuel Sportsbook app, deposit at least $10, and pick your team. Go onto the app and see which prop bets you'd like to also bet on, like the color of the Gatorade at the end of the game, the touchdown props. I love the over punts in the game. I love Joe Burrow rushing touchdown. Love Joe Burrow passing attempts. Promotions for new and existing customers. Same game parlays where you can combine small bets for bigger wins. Tons of Super Bowl props and more. Don't miss your chance to turn $5 into $280. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and use promo code CASH to make every moment more this Super Bowl Sunday. Again, promo code CASH exclusively on the FanDuel Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. New users only, $10 first deposit required, must wager in designated offer market, max bonus $280. Bonus for Tennessee users fulfilled in site credit within 72 hours. Tennessee site credit expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789. This hour of our show brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis, the one and only Lexus dealership in Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Give them a call at 901-362-8833 for anything in the service department. Great offers on all 2022 models and always special leasing options. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by today at Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2022 flagship LS500, and you'll be looking and you'll be driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and that makes for the luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
And that's the 37-18 third in the Western Conference Grizzlies playing the Clippers. And here's the thing about the Clippers. The Clippers at full strength are actually a team in the future that you look at as, with the Grizzlies' future, that you look at as some serious competition, especially with adding Norman Powell for the long haul. But the truth of the matter is they haven't been healthy all year. Paul George has been out of the lineup. Kawhi Leonard's been out of the lineup. The Grizzlies have handled them. Even with Paul George in the lineup, I expect the Grizzlies to do the same thing again tonight. You get a home game, and then you go on the road for 3 against the Pistons, against the Hornets, against the Pelicans. Get this win, and then go handle that road trip, and you'll feel good about yourself if you're the Grizzlies.
Same way. Top story. First time at FedEx Forum in a while for the trendy Memphis Grizzlies. Everybody starting to discover the Grizzlies. Last time through Memphis this year for our old buddies, the Clippers, or as Hank McDowell always calls them, Clippers trash. Clippers may not make the playoffs, and another go-for-it era for the Clippers coming to an end. They've had a lot of stopgap measures. They've almost been there. They're trying it again. It's always been a franchise trying to do it the easy way out. The Grizzlies did it the way you're supposed to do it, and they're excelling. It's going to be a while before the Clippers are back in this position.
And you want to know, I was thinking about this yesterday, Brett. When we talk about next year, everybody healthy, all things equal, right? Nobody on an injured reserve list. What are the teams that are up there with the Grizzlies in being able to compete in the Western Conference? Of course, the Warriors and Suns are going to be there as long as Chris Paul and Devin Booker and Steph Curry and Clay are still there. Dallas certainly up there with Luka.
He'll be a big magnetic piece.
But here's the other thing. Can Kristaps continue? I mean, he has been so inconsistent.
He has been.
And they're locked in with him for a little bit, so we'll see what happens with that. The Clippers certainly would be there at full strength. That would be one I would think of. But beyond that, everybody talks about the Nuggets and the Jazz. Are you convinced that those are teams that are going to be around for the long haul? Even with Jamal Murray in the lineup for the Nuggets, do they give you that vibe?
They got that MVP sitting in the middle.
They do. But outside of that, you look at like who their support players. One more piece would go a long way for
We've
them.
got a long run in front of us with the Grizzlies.
Yes, you think so. But again, like I said yesterday, live in the moment.
Not top story of the day.
This has to do with Tom Brady. Tom Brady, TB12, on his Let's Go podcast, and every single week he's given us sound bites. Brett,
Who forewarned this last week?
You?
Of Brady, it's going to be all summer. Willie, won't he?
He's ridiculous. I mean, the night
You let
last
injuries
week,
happen in August. How good a shape is he in? Is he ready?
He's going to be in shape. I mean, he's Tom Brady. He eats avocado ice cream.
Yeah.
He's not quitting the TB12.
I mean, you just don't quit cucumber milkshakes
No,
overnight cold turkey.
No, absolutely not. But last week when he went on Let's Go with Jim Gray, he said he hadn't made a final decision. The next morning he made a final decision and put out a Twitter release and all that. And when he went on there yesterday with Jim Gray, Jim had the nerve to ask him about his future in football. And Tom Brady said, I'm just going to take things as they come. I think that's the best way to put it. And I don't think anything, you never say never. At the same time, I know that I feel very good about my decision. I don't know how I'll feel six months from now. But of course he has to.
Another thing that impacted it. He didn't get the attention last week he wanted.
Yeah,
the story got stepped on.
Tom loves the attention.
He loves it. They all do.
He basks in
They
it.
have to have it.
But
that's their oxygen's that ovation.
Okay, yes,
Ladies and gentlemen, now appearing at midfield, fill in the blank. They have to have it.
But there are some players that, when their time in the NFL, they admit that they like the attention. Terrell Owens, Randy Moss, guys like that. They admit they like the attention. Tom Brady tries to put off this sort of about face don't pay attention to me. I'm not that important. But he always does.
Number
these
199,
type of things,
he has to have it.
He knows the reaction he's going to get.
Sure he does. And he likes it, and that's okay. Just I wish they would own it like T.O. Yeah, I'm the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Is it my time?
Yep, go ahead.
My top story, Super Bowl 56 will smash betting records this Sunday. This isn't a square game or a bet with a buddy either. It's not about that anymore. It's almost $8 billion will be wagered this Sunday. Most of it now legal. Why in the world did the NFL go through that dance for so long of not acknowledging Vegas, of not acknowledging betting, acting like it didn't exist, and leaving all that money on the table? Now they know. Look at this pot of money, and coming soon, and you look at future Super Bowl sites and cities, the date's always to be announced because 18th game coming soon. Got to have more. Always more.
Oh, gosh. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of the NFL Players Association getting stepped on and just giving
Wait till
in to
February
every single
20th is Super Bowl Sunday, and the next day, President's Day, and most of the country will have the day off.
You know what?
I'm not going to lie. That kind of be big time.
Coming soon.
That'll do it for top and not top story of the day. By the way, another not top story, and you don't have to keep the music on for this. People complain about the Pro Bowl. Why do people continue to complain about the Pro Bowl being bad? You know at this point. You know it's terrible. And you have guys that literally have to go into free agency a month later. Like, why are we worried about, I don't know.
It's about reiterating it.
I get frustrated.
Have we seen a final Pro Bowl?
Like, use your brain
TV
about
number?
it. Who cares?
Right.
Yeah. You know what? I'm sure it's out there, Brett. We'll figure it out. We may bring it up during the show, but honestly,
it'll be big.
It'll be
because it's the test pattern of
define
NFL.
big. I mean, define big.
I'm going to say 12 million viewers.
Ooh, I'm going on. I'm going under.
I'm going under with that.
I'm gonna have to go under on that one.
All right, let me 9 million. 9 million.
I mean, what?
If you're setting that at the over/under, I don't know.
Let's get a
right
number.
on.
Let's get a number in the break.
We'll
find
yeah.
We'll go ahead and find this number. When we come back, we have Dave Woloshin. We'll do that right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You have opinions?
Well, you gotta have an opinion.
We want to hear them. Call or text us on the AutoZone listener line at 360-8255. That's the AutoZone listener line at 901-360-8255.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $700 on average, and those savings add up. Imagine what you could buy in the future.
Remember how 15 years ago I switched to Progressive? Well, I used all those savings to buy that golf club that swings for you. But now everyone who plays golf is really good because, the club swings for you. In the future, which is now.
So switch to Progressive and save big because those savings can add up in the future. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National annual average insurance savings by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive in 2020. Potential savings will vary.
Tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops for the next generation of drivers, where titanium ends and the carbon age begins. Introducing the new Stealth Carbon Wood driver from TaylorMade with 60 layers of carbon twist-based technology designed for better energy transfer and faster ball speeds. Come into Edwin Watts Golf Shops and get custom fit today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops is home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, or shop us online at worldwidegolfshops.com.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Gabe Kuhn.
We had some discussion before we went to the break about the Pro Bowl numbers. Brett, you said it at 9 million. That's substantially under. We ended up getting 6.7 million viewers, which I think in the grand scheme of things for the Pro Bowl, with how bad it is and how badly put together it is, that's not like the worst number in the world.
Number.
I'm surprised, but it's also double what Knicks Lakers drew Saturday night.
That's sad.
It's 2 million more viewers than the NBA Finals averaged last year.
I didn't realize that, two-hand touch had that big of a market here in the
US.
It's
the NFL.
Two-hand touch. Who knew?
I thought it would be bigger than that, though.
Let's go ahead and bring in Dave Voloshin, voice of the Tigers. Talk about the Tigers who take on Tulane tomorrow night in FedEx Forum. Dave, how are you?
We're sitting here eating Cashew Crunch, enjoying the Denstall's virtual remote. The delicacies are great.
Oh, I know. That's nice. I wish we were there.
Of course.
Becky was kind enough to bring the candy to us this morning.
Very kind.
And I know she's going to be on here in a few minutes, and you don't find a sweeter person, literally.
You sure don't.
Than you do with Becky Denstall.
And as she says, nobody dips it like Denstall's.
Nope. 56,000 showed up in Vegas to watch the two-hand touch game. I was amazed. By the way.
How much would you have paid to watch that game, Dave, in person?
Well, I mean, you said it, though. Look at the number they got for that game on TV. I know it's under what you said, but it's more than the NBA Finals.
Unreal, isn't
That's
it?
crazy.
For garbage football.
I'm just sitting here shaking my head. I haven't had power since Thursday. I'm a man without a home. And you see me here. I was really looking forward to being on this show. I'm trying to be as upbeat as possible. And then I hear my man Gabe. I mean, I've loved Gabe ever
Going
since.
right at Gabe.
Okay, Dave,
again, Brian.
Dave, this is the second week in a row. What do you have to say?
I
Let's
just
hear it.
can't get over your bitterness. You're too young, too successful, have so many good things going for you to be so bitter about the doggone Rams leaving St. Louis.
Tries to drag me into it, Dave.
Oh, my gosh.
Your parents weren't upset when they stole them from Chicago.
Oh, okay,
And
Mr. Bears
here's
fan.
the truth, Gabe. The Card St. Louis is a baseball and a hockey town. It couldn't do football. It couldn't do NBA basketball.
And you saw him try to drag me into it, Dave, and I rose above it.
Can I just say
that is so
that is
false.
A fact.
That is not
a fact. Let me just say this.
Dave,
and then Gabe,
stop.
you can have
Dave's
your
dealing
say.
in facts, Gabe.
Those things are facts, just like the guy who invented the Easy Bake Oven is a genius.
That's it.
There are
Okay.
some things you cannot deny.
All right, I know you tried to sweeten the deal there. But anyway, a football team and St. Louis can go together.
Twice,
it's been
Gabe,
proven.
twice.
It's been the second time was a joke.
Twice, Dave.
now.
We've tried.
But the second time was a joke. The funds were
Second
being
time
raised.
had the championship,
They
though.
but look at they got a settlement for how many million? Because they
800?
weren't dealing in good faith. They had no good faith negotiations. They fleeced us. They fleeced St. Louis on the way out.
It's funds that were on the way. They were never delivered.
Oh, okay. This is 2 weeks in a row that you're taking exception to
Really
my
did.
St. Louis Rams.
I just
you know what?
not believe
What
your
is this?
bitterness.
Gabe, Dave just calls it like he sees it.
What
I'm
is
just
this? Is this
trying
just?
to make you
Are we bagging on
feel
Gabe
right
today?
here.
We are 30 minutes into the show today, and I am getting
33
3 on
actually, but
3 on 1. 3 on 1.
but you're so big, you can handle all three of us. You
would
can fend
think
us all off.
You would look around and see these are three pretty smart guys. Maybe I better change my task. I don't know.
Well said.
Just thinking.
And also, I'm big, but as far as the words go, y'all, Brett, you and Dave have been speaking words on the radio for how long combined at this point?
120.
Well, much longer than St. Louis had a football game.
Okay.
That's good, Dave.
All right.
Dave, yesterday we started the show with Saturday. Arguably was the best Tiger performance of the year. I think Alabama would be the other one mentioned. Maybe at Wichita State.
Those are the three. I'd probably vote to St. Louis won.
That's a good one. But the win over SLU really holds up now.
No. In all honesty, I'd say Alabama won. It's tough between Wichita State because that was on the road and this one. This one is big because you finally got all your guys back. And not only did you get your guys back, they played together. 20 assists on 35 buckets made.
They had fun,
They
Dave.
played really
Right.
good defense together. I mean, you needed it. You had to make a statement. This was a team that beat you. Memphis now, by the way, is 3-0 in revenge games, looking for 4-0
Put it on the board
tomorrow.
Put it on the board. Count it.
I tend to agree with you there, but this Ron Hunter, he's a good coach, and I got to tell you, since Memphis played them, you know what their net was when Memphis played them?
It was 2-something.
216. And now, well, as of today or yesterday, I didn't look exactly
About 100?
today, but no, it was it's 107, so it's in the mid 100s.
Well, they've lopped it in half.
Yes, and I think a lot of that has to do with, and we're going to see this from now on in most leagues, I think, but in particular in the American, where if you look, there are 8 new players, transfers, that came to play for Ron Hunter. And they struggled in the beginning because they didn't know how to play with one another. They got one really good star in Cook, the kid that transferred from LSU, and they got a nice big man who can flat out play. And they play together. And Ron Hunter has made them a good team. And so once they learn the secret of how you share the ball and do a little bit better job at defending, they've become a decent team.
And something the Tigers have done the past 2 times out, Dave, that has been just incredibly noticeable is defensively. They've stepped up the intensity. It looks like a Penny Hardaway team again.
It's great you say that because in the last two games, they have held opponents to 28.7% field goal. So that is a return to the way it was, and they've defended against the three beautifully in the last few games, and they're going to need it because the next few opponents are all good at shooting threes, except for Houston, which is really good at shooting twos.
Mm-hmm. Who else besides Houston in this conference is really there on the cusp of an at-large? Do you believe in SMU? Do you believe in Cincinnati? I know last time out they both got smacked around.
I'm not sure I believe in Cincinnati. I really don't. I think the coach will get it done there. He's a fiery guy. Watch him, man. I can't believe he doesn't get sent back to the coach's box more than he does. He comes all the way out on the floor to mid-court to either yell at a referee or his own guys. But I think he's a pretty good coach, but I don't think he has the talent there. And I think SMU is a pretty good team. I think they're the one other team that might make a case if it isn't Memphis. And Memphis will have the chance to become that team to make a case with this next string of games. I mean, if they were to go 4-0 in the next 4 games, as Mike DeCourcy, who does his own bracketology,
and is really good at it,
bracket forecast. Did you hear what he said today? Because I asked him, I said, do you use bracket forecast because Lenardi has bracketology? He goes, no. And Joe really blew it because Joe should have patented that name or trademarked, licensed that name, and he never did. So I could steal that and say it's mine.
You sure could. Yeah.
But anyway, he said if Memphis were to go 4-0 in the next 4 games, it wouldn't be next 4 out, last 4 out, 4 with byes. It would be in the field.
They would be. Mm-hmm. They would be. And Lenardi, it surprised me on Sunday. Some of the other bracketologists out there are a little slower to embrace it. But as I always say, Lenardi, they all want to be right. Lenardi doesn't have that in there because he's buddies with Penny or because he's pro or anti. If that's the case, he wants to be right.
Right. And it goes back to something that you've said for years. That the first time you said it, I mean, it's just so simple, but a lot of times little simple things have great insight, and it's the truth. You got to have 68 teams. 68 teams are gonna make it. And certainly with the Memphis talent, if they're all there, they are a tournament.
And it's also it is, I don't want to go too conspiratorial, but Dave, it is one of the biggest money makers at CBS of the year for sports. It is the focus of college basketball. When they release that bracket, they are releasing a TV program, a reality show for the rest of March. They would much rather have Memphis in there than Belmont.
Well, and the bottom line is that, I mean, that's right on the money. And geniuses that ESPN are that have taken over the sports market, I mean, they followed suit with the college football playoff show that they have. That's once a week they try to get you to be drummed in on their product.
Mm-hmm. Now, with what the Tigers are doing, we know that we talked to Shelby Mass yesterday, and he said if they go 7-1 down the stretch of the season, he thinks they're all the way in when it comes to the bubble, possibly getting an at-large bid into the tournament. How much do you think they can afford as far as slip-ups before the conference tournament if they want to keep themselves in that conversation?
Well, I think the one loss they can have is at Houston.
Saturday.
No one's going to expect them to win that game. But I think they have to beat SMU. I think that's the only wiggle room they have right now. They got to win every home game. That means if they did, they would have split with everybody they lost to in conference, and they would have swept Cincinnati. I think that's about it. I don't know if they could get away with 6-2 if they lost at SMU, because that's probably the other team, and then they beat them in the tournament and before the championship game and still have a shot. I don't know, but I think 7-1 gets you in. That's pretty certain. And if it's 8-0, well, then maybe they have a decent seed.
Huge. What's your feel on what's going on with Amani Bates? I know Jason Munz has reported that he's back in town, but there was a whole lot of back and forth last week.
Well, he is back in town. Penny said he was coming on Sunday, and he arrived on Sunday. He did not practice with the team yesterday. He went to get therapy. He went to a specialist, a back specialist. It was called, I'm trying to remember, biomechanical issues in the back, which it's interesting to me. I don't really know that term. I don't know what the treatments are for biomechanical issues in the back. I also know that some of that might have come on from a growth spurt. He's grown an inch and a half. Maybe his body he's really trying hard to get adjusted to the extra length. I really don't know. I saw him get knocked down a couple of times, and I've said this before. I think I've said it on the air here. He's just not strong enough at this point to finish. It would probably have been in his better interest to have played high school talent or even to go into the G League elite this year. Although you would have played some even bigger guys and older guys, I guess, in some of that competition. But he sure didn't look hurt to me, I guess is the best way I can put it. I don't see his pain. And Penny has said he's been struggling for about 3 weeks. So if there's something there, he's getting treatment for it, and we'll see. Memphis we had one of the better games without him this last time. So I'm not sure that I used to say I thought if Memphis was going to make it to the second weekend, that Bates would have to be a good player. He didn't have to be the best player. He'd have to be a good player. But I'm not sure that I really think that that's true anymore. I think Josh Minot's emergence as a really good player who probably should get more minutes. I think his emergence means that if Bates is not a really good player, is not part of the rotation, if he's too hurt to play, if he decides this year hasn't worked out well, if that's what his father Elgin decides, I think Memphis would be okay and still could get to the second week if they all play together and they all stay together and we don't have more injuries. Then I think they can get past that. Now, if not, Penny's going to have to figure out a way. What's the best way to use Imani Bates? And that's to him and Larry Brown and Cody Topper.
Yeah, and I one thing I hope for Imani, being young, coming in to Memphis, being put in this position, I just hope mentally he's in a good spot because we know what it was before he came here, all the pressure that was put on him. I just hope mentally he's getting some help because I know this probably has not been easy on him.
I don't think it can be. I think he's really a good kid. He's got a dad really pushing him hard. I think he wants to do really, really well, so he's frustrated that he hasn't. And I'll go back. I think the guy can still be a really good NBA player. I think he's quick enough, has enough ball handling skills, but in particular, his shooting form, when he doesn't try to do too much and just finishes with classic form, he's a really good shooter. He can be a good catch-and-shoot guy. He can be a guy on the elbows at this point that can have a mid-range game because it's hard to block a guy who's now, 6'9", 6'10", with that growth spurt and those kind of skills. But going to the hole to finish, he's just not strong enough. Look at his calves. Look at his arms. That's the problem. If they use him in the right way, I still think he can be an effective player this year for Memphis, but in particular, he's still going to be an NBA guy. I'm certain of that.
Yeah, but he is voice of the Tigers. He is Dave Wolosh. You can also listen to him 10 to 11 on Wallow and Friends on Sports 56. Dave, appreciate it as always. Well, kind of appreciate it. You had to go. You had to do the whole St. Louis Rams thing again this week. You had to come after me.
Go home, look in the mirror, and say, life's okay. I don't have to be bitter. Life's okay. You don't even live in St. Louis anymore.
He's a Memphian. Okay. We're glad to have him.
Come on.
Thank you, Dave. We're glad to have you. Thank you, Dave.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
You got it, man.
And as we mentioned before we even got into the segment with Dave, Valentine's Day is on Monday. That's February 14th. And Dinstall's will launch the season for chocolate-covered strawberries beginning Thursday, February 10th. And nobody dips them like Dinstall's. Place your order for strawberries now. Also, you can order your special sweets for the big game on Sunday. You can choose from an array of heart-shaped boxes filled with Dinstall's finest assortment, turtlettes, all nut assortment, nuts, chewies, crunchies, assorted creams, cherries, truffles. They have a bunch of different options to choose from. And if you mention Sports 56 from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., you will get a 14% discount on your order. 14%. That's a good deal that they're going to have. And when we come back on the other side, we bring in Becky Dinstall herself.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wallow and Friends, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone, where we've got more ways to get you what you need your way. Get the job done today with our free same-day store pickup. Just order online and pick it up the same day at your local AutoZone. Or get it done tomorrow with our free next-day delivery. Just order on AutoZone.com by 10 p.m. and we'll deliver it to you the next day. Getting your job done just got easier. Free next-day delivery and eligible orders. Restrictions at AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing is now currently hiring all positions. If you're ready to take your career to the next level, please apply today. Choate's is offering huge sign-on bonuses to seasoned technicians, plumbers, installers, and air duct cleaners. At Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing, we offer a career, not just a job, by putting you in a paid training program to develop your technical and customer service skills to best serve our customers. Choate's offers top pay in the Mid-South, weekly pay, paid vacation and holidays, company matching retirement account, health, dental, vision, and life insurance, and Christmas, Thanksgiving, and birthday bonuses. If this sounds like an exciting opportunity for you, then we should talk. So call us at 347-8086 or apply online at choateshvac.com under the careers link. Come, join our family.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm Brian Elder. There are a lot of ways to ruin your roof. Probably none worse than ice and snow. Google the term ice dam, and you'll understand that standing snow and ice can destroy your home's interior. Call me, 867-0303. Damaged ceilings or interior? It's time to call Brian Elder Roofing, 867-0303. We're a platinum preferred contractor with Owens Corning, so we've been vetted and trained by the best. You've known the name for years. Call me before you call your insurance company. We won't try to sell you a new roof if you don't need one. We'll measure your roof from outer space. Call me, 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Gabe Kuhn.
Get it? Text a message, I don't know the number.
It's always such a great time of year when we get to talk with Becky Densel. It's actually my first year being able to participate in the remote, but unfortunately, we have to have it virtually. We're not in person, but Becky joins us right now. Becky, it's definitely a shame we don't get to come out and do it in person, but the virtual will do.
Hey, guys, and Gabe, hopefully next year we'll have you right here in the candy kitchen, and you can lick your fingers in chocolate.
We will, Becky. We miss you so much. We appreciate you so much. And, you know, with it Super Bowl week, and then we have the Super Bowl on Sunday, and then on Monday, the Super Bowl of love, the Super Bowl of candy.
Yeah, that's right. And we're getting ramped up for it here at Densel's. Thursday, we're going to begin dipping our chocolate-covered strawberries, and we will dip Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
And let's say it all together, Becky, on 3. 1, 2, 3. Nobody dips it like Densel's.
There it is.
I love that. And Becky, I was downtown Saturday. I loved it. From the beginning with Densel's way back, now you're back downtown, right by the majestic downtown. It's just appropriate.
Well, we're excited to be downtown, and also it's so convenient. If you're going to the Orpheum, you can swing by and pick up some snacks and stash in your pocket so you can have a little nibble during the play. Mm-hmm. So, but we're thrilled to be downtown, and we will be open Thursday through, well, in fact, we'll be open tomorrow through Monday, just for Valentine's for sure, and we will have all of your favorite Densel's treats from turtlettes to cashew crunch, and we'll have the strawberries, the grapes, the chocolate-covered pineapple, you name it. It's all going to be there for you.
What is your top seller year over year?
Well, if we had to pick the number one seller, it runs a rival between chocolate-covered strawberries and cashew crunch.
Mm-hmm. Boy, that's a good tiebreaker to have there. Let's just have both. You don't have to exclude one. Let's do both.
That's right. And then turtlettes run it's coming right behind. So those are some of the favorite features at Denstall's. But, we make over 200 different kinds of candy. So there is something here for everybody's taste buds.
And it's a full emporium, and we just love having you on and love dealing with you guys at Denstall's. Are you looking forward to the Super Bowl on Sunday?
Well, I am ready to pick the winner. Are you ready for this?
Let's hear it. I'm always ready.
All right. The winner is going to be Cashew Crunch and Turtleette.
That's great. That's great. Now give us a Bengals-Rams winner.
Well, it is the year of the Tigers, so, what do you say?
There you go. You take Bengals. You want to give us a score?
No, I think I'm going to back away from that one now.
You got
My
it.
husband would be happy to weigh in on the
put
score,
Charles on. We'll take his score. Are you working him hard?
Oh, we're trying to get him in his tuxedo at Laurelwood for the big day on Monday. So, let's hope he's going to fill up to it.
And that is a big day. One more time, tell our listeners everything, all the pertinent information, Becky.
Well, and the real key that we need to mention is if you place your order today before 6 o'clock, either in person or by phone at any of our locations, and mention Sports 56, you will get 14% off your purchase. So we're excited about that, and we're offering that special incentive for those early bird shoppers. But those that are waiting, we will begin dipping strawberries on Thursday, so you can pick them up beginning Thursday all the way through Monday. We have special pickup areas in each store, so if you pre-order, you don't have to wait in line. You can just run in and grab your order, and that goes for any products, whether it be a heart-shaped box or a special pack box or strawberries. So please get your orders in, and then we're just so excited to get this season going and welcome all the lovers into Denstall.
For sure.
Yes, man. Appreciate you so much, Becky.
Well, I appreciate y'all. I hope there were a few samples left for y'all to enjoy.
A few.
But I can promise you there's not any now because we hit it hard.
We got a little bit, though.
Very good. Well, that's great. Well, next year we're going to hopefully be present in Pleasant View.
Darn right.
Absolutely.
Tell Charles we said hello, and thank you so much, Becky.
I'll do it. Y'all, happy Valentine's Day.
Same to you. Thank you.
Thanks, Becky. And, of course, like she said, go down there from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., mention Sports 56. You get 14% on any order that you place.
Look, and after all the ice and all the inconvenience we've had, that's a way to take care of someone you love.
Mm-hmm. There's no question about it. And those chocolate-covered strawberries, they do them different.
And I'll remind people, we didn't get Dave's Super Bowl score for this reason. He wants to give his winner Friday. He's going to give it to me, but we're going to let him do his own announcing on his own show.
I don't know if I want to even. I should have put him on the spot after what he's done to me the past 2 weeks, Brett.
He's hit you pretty good.
And you know what? If you think I'm bitter about the St. Louis Rams, you should listen to some of these St. Louis radio hosts about when it comes to how they feel about the Rams.
I don't blame them. I know they are. Gabe, look, I enjoyed going up to Rams games. I never went to a Big Red game. I never went to
great,
a
Brett.
football Cardinals.
And to be fair, I never thought the Dome was very well done. Even when they redid it, it was just not.
I didn't
think
it was
nice.
bad though.
It could use some updating, and
I was there for
Favre
breaking Marino's passing record, a December of 2007 game. I saw the Seahawks and Sean Alexander there. I saw Dexter McCluster and the Chiefs there. I saw a Cowboys game there. I went quite a bit. Mm-hmm. Saw a Vikings game there.
Yeah, season ticket holder growing up. So
I
got to always
enjoyed
go to them. No, I of course enjoyed it. I always thought that a new stadium would go a long way right there on the riverfront. What they were trying to sort of propose
would have fit perfectly.
It would have, but you keep telling me they've had 2 tries and they failed twice. That's what you're telling me. That's the message you've sent to me.
But I mean it as a friend.
And if they were to expand to another, or expand or relocate, what cities would be involved in this with the NFL?
I just don't know if there's any left. I think we've maxed out football.
I would say St. Louis is probably at the top of the list, though, right? Comparatively to some of these, Birmingham's probably not
over
there.
Birmingham, yeah.
San Antonio's not there, right? I don't know how many cities are out there. Maybe. They had the Apollos.
Yeah.
The AAF. Shout out Garrett Gilbert.
Just a population, just a numbers game.
Shout out Garrett Gilbert.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, there's just not that many cities left.
True or false? Garrett Gilbert's dad, Gale, once threw a pass in a Super Bowl. True
I'm
or
going to say
false?
true.
Very true. Very true.
I don't think you'd ask that if it was a false.
Very true.
That'd be a wild thing to make up.
Yeah.
For the Chargers, for Bobby Ross. Bobby Ross wins a national championship with Georgia Tech and gets the Chargers to the Super Bowl. You can coach if you can do that.
How about it?
We'll get back to some NFL and some Super Bowl later in the show. We'll at 4:45 get to our best new and worst new hire in the NFL coaching carousel. And then at 5:30, we'll talk a little more Super Bowl. But hour 2 coming up, Brent Beard on college football to start it. Drew Hill from the Daily Memphian on the Grizzlies beat at 4:30. You're listening to Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Getaway Sports Bar, the best kept secret in town, open noon to 1:30 a.m. 7 days a week. Garvin, the owner, created this SEC NFL Dream Bar over 20 years ago. You'll never miss a minute of action. 10 TVs, 5 70-inch TVs for all the big games. Rack them up on 6 pool tables. Coldest beer in town, grab you a pool stick and get you some good bar grub. 100% Angus burgers, big and moist chicken tenders. Daily happy hour Monday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. with long neck domestics, 225 Getaway Sports Bar, 4632 Winchester.
Whether you have college experience or just a high school diploma and 2 years of work experience, apply today to become a Memphis police officer. To become the best in blue, you'll train at our nationally recognized academy, and you'll receive a $15,000 sign-on bonus and up to $10,000 relocation assistance. A new era in public safety starts with you. For more details and to apply, visit joinmpd.com.
It's a new year. That means it's time for a floor model sale at Family Leisure. You can help Family Leisure make room for all the new 2022 products that are coming in. All floor models are priced to move right now. If it's on the floor, it's on sale. But you better hurry to get these special savings because once these floor models are gone, folks, they're gone. We're talking theater seating, massage chairs, arcades, foosball and hockey tables, all on sale. Shuffleboard tables, pool tables, they're on sale too. Plus, there's so much more on sale, and you can get New Year's deals on spas and swimming pools as well. Family Leisure needs the room for new inventory. So what's here has got to go. You can help them. The floor model sale is happening now at Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together. Happy New Year from our good friends at Family Leisure.
Say there was a place, the perfect place for everything you need for tailgates and patios. Grills and chairs, charcoal and coolers. Everything to make a great game or a great day. That perfect place wouldn't be a warehouse. It's East Memphis Ace Hardware. Locally owned and operated at Quince and White Station, East Memphis Ace Hardware is where you'll find Benjamin Moore paints, local plants from local growers, and Black & Decker tools. Around the block, what you need in stock with people who know their tailgates. Welcome to East Memphis Ace Hardware, the home convenience store.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises. I'm here with the great Pat Donahue from the Rendezvous Restaurant Shipping Department.
Thanks, Brett. We've been shipping our ribs all over the country now for decades from our USDA-inspected shipping kitchen in the Pinch District. We hand-cook our ribs in pits that Mr. Charlie built over charcoal, just like they do at the restaurant.
So what comes in a rib box?
We could do pork shoulder, we could do ribs, our sauce, seasoning, baked beans, coleslaw. We'll even throw in Pancho's cheese dip with our nacho boxes. We also put a bag of Rendezvous seasoned popcorn, heating instructions, some chef hats, some wet naps, and some other helpful tips from our kitchen. We ship our ribs overnight. exclusively FedEx. When we put them in nice packaging, we don't ever want to use styrofoam, so we use corrugated cardboard, actually 2 boxes that fit nice together, so the ribs get to you, your loved ones, or your clients in a safe, wholesome manner. Rendezvous ribs are perfect for out-of-town clients, customers, loved ones. We also ship ribs for any occasion.
Where do we order these great ribs?
You can go to www.hogsfly.com or give us a call at 1-888-464-7359.
Charlie Burgos' Rendezvous Restaurant in the alley since 1948.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Gabe Kuhn.
Hour 2 is upon us on Sports Time on Sports 56 with Gabe and Stats. AutoZone listener line 901-360-8255. Text us. Also, you can message us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and at our website, sports56whbq.com. Last time we talked with Brent Beard, Brian Harsin came up. But everything has officially hit the fan at Auburn. Everything.
And it's a big old shop ceiling fan.
Everything has spiraled out of control. We bring in Brent this week with a completely different set of facts to discuss. Brent, how are you?
Hey, Brent, we know how this ends, don't we?
Yes, because we've seen this way too many times, and it's handled the same ludicrous way as it will be, has been and will be. So, yes, we do know.
And it ends with his ouster, but who is the hire? Who's the next head football coach?
Well, that's a great question. I mean, I've obviously heard some of the names like you guys have. Look, I think Kevin Steele's a good football coach, but do you get rid of Brian Harsin to hire Kevin Steele, who is not going to be a long-term guy? I've heard Bill Clark from UAB a little bit, who is one of the better football coaches around. Matt Rule is your NFL flavor of the week is a possibility. I mean, would he be able to get out of his NFL contract? I understand that he wants to get back into college. He really did a really good job at Baylor. Look, the answer to this is it really doesn't matter, because they're going to make the same mistakes that they have made for 30 and 40 years with the infighting within the guys who write the big checks and the guys who make the decisions will have probably a minimum of input with this, and you put all this together, and it's the reason Auburn has struggled the way they have. There are a lot of good people there. That they've had some decent teams, but the reason they have not had as much success as they think they deserve is simply because they are their own worst enemy.
Okay. I agree with everything you said. You're categorically correct. I know you know it from your upbringing in that state to covering it, talking about it all these years. But on the dysfunction front, they're probably at the head of the dysfunction front in the history of the SEC. Tennessee, lately, for a long time, Tennessee was the rock. I mean, we went basically Doug Dickey, Bill Battle, Johnny Majors, Philip Fulmer over about 40 years, and then it came undone. But, Brent, Auburn gets all this blame for the dysfunction, but you could go around to everywhere. Tennessee, since Phil Fulmer, they've had theirs. Planes flying over the stadium saying, "Fire Houston Nutt."
Yeah.
Ole Miss, 1 year removed from going to a Cotton Bowl with Eli Manning, they get rid of David Cutcliffe. The circus at Alabama under Bob Bockrath and some other AD, Hootie Ingram even a little bit. There was a lot going on. Nick Saban settled it down. LSU did hire Jerry DiNardo and Curly Hallman once upon a time.
Yeah.
So other places have had it, but it really sticks to Auburn, doesn't it?
It does, and I think the other part of that, to your point, is if you're going to bring a coach into the SEC, either the coach or most of his staff need to be familiar with the pressure that goes along with the SEC. Auburn has really floundered after the death of Pat Dye. Now, a lot of Auburn folks will deny the fact that Dye ran Auburn as far as football decisions until his death, saying that he did not have that much power. There are a lot of people close to Auburn would tell you he did. And the thing that Dye did probably best of all is Dye was able, in a situation like this, to get them in a room and settle them down and give some input. Was Dye perfect? No, absolutely not.
He's pretty good.
But he was one of the fabled coaches in the SEC, and he was able to give them some leadership, which is what they don't have, but they do have at Georgia with Kirby, at Alabama with Saban, I mean, you look around the league, I think Florida is about to have that with Billy Napier, and I think that Josh Heupel is showing some chops that he can do the same thing. Brian Kelly, I think, will work at Notre Dame when he gets through dancing with players. So
I need more of that, Brent. I don't know what you're talking about.
You've got you, but Gabe, as Brent and I've seen for decades now, you have to have a leadership in the administration and at the head coaching position to win and be stable in this league.
It's got to flow from that chancellor level to AD to football
and
coach.
The biggest thing with Brian Harsin, though, it seems like he just has no understanding. Continues, maybe he's learning a little bit more, but doesn't have any understanding of how the SEC works and how the power structure is. And it sort of worked against him there at the end. And I know that there's always going to be some turnover when it comes to, new roster, bringing in a new coach. There's going to be guys that don't like the new style. But it's not a good look when every single guy gets into the portal and goes straight to Gus Malzahn.
Or Derek Mason takes a $400,000 pay cut in order to go to Oklahoma State. That's not a good look either. Now, I do give Harsin credit on a couple of levels. He stood up, what I understand, to some of the power brokers when he got there and tried to exert some power and influence in a positive way on his own. The problem is when you lose your last 5 games, it's a pretty slippery slope in that situation. And to his credit, he tried to coach them hard, and and Pat Dye did this too. Now Pat Dye won. That's the difference in won SEC titles. But
he sounded like us, and he knew about us.
Yes. And
not an outsider.
And Harsin also, I think, is trying to get them into more of a physical line of scrimmage team slowly against the finesse team that Gus had. So, but even with what he's wanted at this point, unfortunately for him, it hasn't worked yet.
No, and it's tough. Now, when I recited those other places that's had dysfunction, and everybody has, at some time you've had your unflattering moment.
Yes.
Auburn fans out there saying, he mentioned Arkansas, he mentioned Ole Miss, and I think I mentioned Tennessee. They're except for Tennessee, they're saying we ain't Arkansas and Ole Miss.
Well, the reality is, though, you are what your record is, and you've lost 5 in a row. And during Gus Malzahn's last 5 to 7 years, they averaged 4 or 5 losses a year. That's not an elite program, because the numbers and the facts tell you that. Now, look, would it take long to get Auburn going back together and be able to be a competent football team again with the right guy? I don't think it would. But the question is, are they going to get a right guy at this point in February, which is extremely hard to do or are you just going to basically get a placekeeper until you get to the end of the year and see where you are?
That's losing too much time.
Yeah, well, it is, and that's the gamble that you've got. But the other thing is, a lot of guys that you might want to be able to pry loose in order to do that, it's going to be very hard for that to happen.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned Kevin Steele, and I know that's who a lot of the boosters wanted at the time that Gus was being moved on from. But he's made a bunch of moves in the offseason. I mean, we talk about restricting the transfer portal. We need to restrict some of these coaches from taking 15 jobs in an offseason.
Yeah, going to Maryland and then going to Miami after being it seemed like kind of been in purgatory up at Tennessee after the job was over. I mean, that's a good point. And again, look, if you're offered a head coaching job in the SEC, you've got to take it. I'm not saying that he's going to, not even saying he's going to be offered, but that's certainly one of the rumors you hear.
How did Tommy Tuberville keep it all together as long as he did? I know he took some pretty big shots, including the coup attempt with Bobby Petrino,
yes.
but he held it together for a long time.
Well, timing is everything in this league, and Tuberville was at Auburn and during some very unstable times at Alabama, and was able to roll off consecutive years where he won, and in that state and in the league, if you're maintaining some dominance over your rival, you're going to be around for a while. That cures a multitude of sins.
What, he win 6 straight over Bama?
Yeah, and that's what happened. Obviously, Saban comes in and that changes, but he certainly was able to do it with Sheila and the Alabama coaches he had during that time.
Mm-hmm. So transition to somewhere else down in the South, looking at in the state of Florida where you're at. In Miami, talked about Kevin Steele being the DC. They also got Josh Gaddis last week as the OC. How good do you think they can be in year one with some of the things they've done this offseason?
Well, they've got the right quarterback. Tyler Wright is really. He proved last year that he could be on the verge of being something special. The Gaddis situation surprised some people because they thought that he would be at Michigan. Obviously, what would have had a lot to do with that would have been if Harbaugh would have gone to the NFL. They could, because the league is not that good, because Florida State's still trying to find its way, and I still think they will be better if they will be patient with Mike Norvell. Clemson has had a time to where are they going to be able to get it together offensively, and without how they're going to do without Venables for the first time in memory. So, Gabe, frankly, they have got a chance to certainly be better. I hope they are. I think Cristobal has already proven that he can recruit and will be able to do so. But will they be able to get everybody on the page down there? They need to, and stop the cherry picking from the Georgias, Alabama, and Ohio States that come in the state of Florida.
And Mario Cristobal has shown also he develops trench first. That's what he tries to go after. He gets O-line and D-line quick. He's a former O-line coach. Josh Gaddis, though, seemed like there was some sort of bad blood between him and Michigan on the way out. He said something about how he, over the sort of process of seeing Jim Harbaugh flirt with the NFL, he saw how he was actually valued around there. It didn't sound good.
Well, when he texted the players, the sentence that really did not sound good was unfortunately the past few weeks have told a different story to me about the very little appreciation I have here from the administration. So, that is that's a sentence, if you're Michigan fans, that you don't want to read.
And didn't Josh Gaddis come out of the Alabama shop?
Yep, he did. Josh Gaddis was with the Jaguars for a while.
And when you've been through that Alabama building and their way, whether it's been under the leadership of Mal Moore or Coach Battle or Greg Byrne, and we know the central figure, Coach Nick Saban, everything else looks pretty pale and pretty inefficient.
That's true. And what so many coaches go through there, they get a jump start or a restart on their career. But now Rhett Lashley, I thought, did a pretty good job as the OC at Miami. Obviously, he's going now to a head coaching job. So that I'm not going to say they're huge shoes to fill, but I do think that that Lashley did enough there to where Gaddis will be able to come in, and I think they've got enough on offense where they could be effective this year.
Brent, there was a time we were having this conversation about Alabama. If this one doesn't work, then it's really over as we once knew it. You could say that about Nebraska, and the U is for sure that. If Mario Cristobal doesn't get the U back, then
who can?
It was a once and fleeting thing.
Well, when you had Jimmy Johnson there in those great teams of the early 2000s, again.
Oh, that 2001 team.
Yeah, just unbelievable, wasn't it, Brett? The incredible thing was, the athletes there, and see that there were a lot of things that happened during that time. It was a perfect storm. He was a really good coach. They were able to have, oh my gosh, the talent in this state during that time was absolutely just unbelievable. And he was able to put all that together and gave them an identity, keep those recruits there. But again, the Alabamas and the Georgias and the Ohio States, they were and the Clemsons, they did not have the consistency that they do now. And frankly, Miami, to their credit, was able to take advantage of that.
And I'll say this: I like Mario Cristobal. I think it makes a whole lot of sense. He's at home. He gets to recruit there. He's perfect for that job in a lot of ways. But I don't know about you guys, but I still have some holdups on who he is as a coach. I know he went into the shoe and won last year with Oregon, but even in that Oregon situation where you had everything going your way, you had all the recruits, you had the West Coast, USC was down, you didn't really have anyone else. You have Phil Knight, you're developing that football program. He still hasn't quite got over that hump.
Well, to your point, Gabe, that even when he was there and they had the guys like Thibodeau, at defensive end, and he recruited so well, even Oregon people would tell you they had one or two absolutely inexplicable, unexplainable losses each year.
They did. The amount of NFL talent they had on the field was on par. They should have been there at the top. But then last year, seeing how they lost to Utah twice to end the year in just runaway fashion. You have to have some questions about Cristobal, but the DC and the OC hire seem to give me a little more hope for what is to come for Miami.
And by the way, one of the bigger games of the season, Miami plays Texas A&M this season.
Yes, they do. That would be fun. Mario against Jimbo, so be interesting to see. Brent, we're going to get a Super Bowl prediction before we let you go today, but for the SEC flag waivers, what's the better story? Joe Burrow gets it in his second year, just that removed from winning a Heisman Trophy and a national championship at LSU, or Matthew Stafford finally gets it in a year that Georgia wins everything? What's the better story?
Obviously the Georgia fans will tell you which one it is, but what if Burrow can do that in such a short period of time and what he has done? They'll be writing songs about Burrow if he wins this thing. Frankly, and the legend that goes with it, the cool demeanor and all that, and he has just played. It's just been incredible and gives you a kind of a snapshot of where this thing's going. Home game for the Rams virtually. So.
But you're right, to win one for the Bengals, and he's already become. Look, old folks like us, you got to change the story every now and then. The number one figure in the history of LSU football is no longer Billy Cannon; it's Joe Burrow.
Yeah, you could certainly make that. I would agree in a lot of ways. look, they've had some greats, and we've covered them.
Boy, and let me tell you what you get to see every 2 seconds when you go down there with Ole Miss. Halloween night, punt return from Billy Cannon.
No question. Absolutely. But what I mean, there's still people today that said that was when they won the national championship, had all that together with Brady there too, is controlling that offense. That it was some will argue it was the best team in SEC history.
Have we overrated Joe Brady based on that though?
Maybe.
Boy, we've rated him high, haven't we?
Yeah. Now, with that said, the rumor I've heard, now you probably have heard the same thing, is that if Matt Rule comes to Auburn, he's going to bring Joe Brady with him. Now, again, don't know. We count it as the rumor at this point.
Right.
But Gabe's got a real point.
Sure does.
It would just.
That's all that's on his business
and
card
I wonder
right now.
I wonder how many offensive coordinators could succeed with that O-line: Joe Burrow, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah.
I mean,
you
name them.
Randy Moss's son,
Thaddeus Moss.
tight end.
Yeah. It was again.
Ed Orgeron won with it.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that tells you all you need to know, doesn't it?
Brent said, "Say no more."
Say no more. Brent Beard, give us a score and pick the team, pick the winner for Super Bowl 56.
I'm going with Cincinnati because of the quarterback.
It's a landslide.
Bingo,
landslide.
I really do. Now look, will he be able to overcome Now I'm still a line of scrimmage guy, and will they be able to overcome some deficiencies for them on the line with that? Gabe, tell us. I don't know.
I don't
gotta block them.
I don't want to give away my pick too much.
But I look as hard as he is, and I don't. I've learned from Brett on this. I don't always get swayed by the team of destiny stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But my Stars, it really does make you wonder if they're close to that.
That's why I went against Kansas City last year. I got so tired of hearing Mahomes is going to win 5.
Mm-hmm.
He's lucky to have the 1. Give me your score.
I think it will be 34-31.
Wow.
Something like that.
High scoring, too.
Good.
Brent, we appreciate it as always.
Thank you,
Me
Brent.
too, guys.
Have a great
Thanks
week.
so much.
And you can follow Brent on Twitter at Brent Beard. What is that? 4-1 on our Bengals
That
to
is
Rams
correct.
split.
Only DeMichael Cole
Have
picking
mercy on
the
my
Rams.
soul. What is going on? That's unbelievable. I think everyone's going pick, and I know Brent just said it. It sounds like everybody's sort of going with the pick of destiny thought process there.
Yeah, it is. I slowed down last year on that Mahomes winning 5. If Burrow wins this week, you're going to have people talking Burrow winning 5.
But here's the other thing, though, Brett. Look how much he has to go up against in the AFC. He still has Patrick Mahomes to go against, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson. I mean, he's got to go through so much just to get to 1,
Now,
much less 5.
I know you rank him less than those guys, but I think Mac Jones will be in that AFC elite.
We'll give him a little more time. He's already a Pro Bowler, though.
Big game coming up on Sunday, and let Jason's Deli do all the work. Here's one thing. This is simple. The Deli Sliders tailgate package. How about that? Cold mini sandwiches on potato rolls, 12 roasted turkey, and 12 ham salami sliders made with provolone, shredded lettuce, and tomato. How's that sound? How about the beef eater slider tray? 2 dozen hot roast beef mini sandwiches with provolone mayo, potato slider buns, all that for your big game party. The assorted dessert tray, all the cookies, the bulk sweet tea, the lemonade, all so good. The fresh fruit tray. That's where you start for Big Game Sunday, is at Jason's Deli. Any of these great locations that we've come to know and love through the years. And Jason's Deli, they like to say wholesome food, it's a family thing, and it is. And on Big Game Day, whether you're having a youth group, a scouting group, a church group, let Jason's Deli do all the work for you for the big game this coming Sunday. Locations on Ridgeway Road, Poplar and Highland, Olive Branch, and Cordova. If you're in those locations, that salad bar, over 30 items right there, catering anytime, anywhere, for any event. every week's Big Game Week for the great people at Jason's Deli, where it's all about choice, plenty of organic food to choose from. And if you're in these locations like Ridgeway Road, Poplar and Highland, Olive Branch, and Cordova, wrap it up with a complimentary free ice cream. Check them out online as well at jasonsdeli.com.
Grizzlies v. Clippers coming up tonight at home in FedEx Forum at 7 o'clock. We have the trade deadline coming up here in just 2 days. To talk about all of it, we bring on Drew Hill next.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
The Who hits back.
We don't get fooled again.
Memphis, it's your turn. Pete Townsend, Roger Daltrey, The Who with an orchestra.
Why don't you all fade away?
FedEx Forum, Friday, May 13th.
Who are you?
Get tickets this Friday at 10 a.m. at livenation.com. The Who, live in concert. There's more at thewho.com.
Heart of Gold, a love poem from Southland Casino. Roses are red, violets are blue. There's a piece of $50,000 of free play waiting for you. Every Saturday night from 7 to 10 p.m. This February, you'll have so many chances to win. Just come to Southland for the Heart of Gold giveaway and feel the love for a chance to win $2,500 of free play. See Lucky North Club for details. Must be 21 plus. Play responsibly. For help, call 800-522-4700.
Hi, everyone. Greg Gaston for FanDuel. The NFL season all comes down to this. Super Bowl 56 with the Rams taking on the Bengals. To celebrate, FanDuel Sportsbook is hooking all customers up with a risk-free same-game parlay. New and existing customers can place any same-game parlay of 3 legs or more on the Super Bowl, and if you don't win, FanDuel will refund you. Already have an account? To qualify, just place your risk-free same-game parlay before the Super Bowl kicks off. New customers, join today with promo code GASMAN to enjoy 56-1 odds on either team to win the Super Bowl. You can turn a $5 bet into $280 in cash. FanDuel is an official sports betting partner of the National Football League. Must be 21 or over and present in Tennessee. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Max refund is $5. Unless otherwise specified, restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you have a gambling problem, call Tennessee Redline at 1-800-889-9789.
Tire pressure light on? Tread low? Car sliding when you stop? It's time to go down to Milton on the Spot. Serving you at 3 locations: 1684 Getwell Road, 2127 Ellis Presley, and 3691 North Watkins. Memphis' largest supply of new and used tires, all under warranty. Yes, that's warranty on used tires too. Ask about the tire rotation and balance specials. Milton on the Spot on Getwell Road, Elvis Presley, or North Watkins. Here to take care of your every tire need. Milton on the Spot.
Hi, folks. The Chevy Sheriff with good news for car and truck buyers. The Sunrise Chevy Ranch has acres of new Chevys and GM certified in stock, ready for immediate delivery. A $6 million used car inventory with cars and trucks for every budget, and a lot specializing in cars and trucks under $99.95. If you've been turned down by another dealer, see us at Sunrise. We specialize in financing, and SunriseMemphis.com is the home of guaranteed credit approval. Immediate financing available. Cars and trucks may not be free, but at least they're affordable at Sunrise. Find new roads to the Sunrise Chevy Ranch, 385 in Houston, Levy, and Collierville.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Gabe Kuhn.
The show returns to the city tonight. Grizzlies versus Clippers, 7 p.m. in FedEx Forum. And to talk about it, we bring in our good friend Drew Hill from the Daily Memphian on the Grizzlies.
Great tweet from him downtown looking at FedEx Forum. Best show in the league plays there.
And he is 100% correct. Drew, how are you?
How are you? I'm good.
Doing well. Hey, how much when you travel to these other cities and you watch some of these fan reactions to what John Morant and the Grizzlies do, how sort of jarring is it? I mean, it just really seems like a lot of the younger fan base and a lot of the current fan base are gravitating toward this team and really being electrified by what John Morant's doing.
Yeah, it's astounding how many kids are in Ja Morant jerseys in the crowd now. When you just take a look around, that was the first thing that I noticed in Philadelphia is like the security is trying to get the warm-ups session under control because there's so many kids swarming the Grizzlies tunnel in Ja Morant jerseys. It's a incredible thing to see. When I talk to people that have been around the team longer than me, a lot of them mentioned that they had never seen anything quite like it up until this point. The Grizzlies really have a true superstar, and it's pretty evident. I mean, Ja got the biggest cheer in player introduction in Madison Square Garden.
Right.
You know, the Garden, I guess, is notorious for cheering for opposing players when they start to go crazy. But that was before the game even started. He's getting these huge cheers. So, yeah, it's really taking off. We're not the only ones noticing how fun the Grizzlies and Ja Morant are, and I think that's great to see for the organization and for the Grizzlies as a team.
And even on the TV copy of these games, even watching them on TV, you just hear collective gasps every time he touches the ball. I mean, he has done things in his 3 years in this league that are more exciting than a lot of players I have ever seen.
We wanted box office, and we've got it.
Oh, yeah, definitely have box office, that's for sure. Yeah, I mean, and it's not just him. Like, that's the best part about the Grizzlies. It's that the style, and I think Taylor Jenkins probably deserves a little credit for it, but the style that they play really allows for them to be this highlight factory on a night in, night out basis. And it certainly makes my job a lot more fun to cover them and to travel around, and feels just like everywhere you go now, everyone sort of recognizes the Grizzlies as a must-see team, and that's fun to see.
You know, Drew, we all know the old admonition of no cheering in the press box, but we also know this, and everybody else should know this. It's a lot more fun to be covering a positive story.
Absolutely. No, yeah, you're not going to catch me cheering in the press box.
But there's nothing wrong with hoping for positive.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with hoping for positives for sure, especially since, you know, it's so much easier to write a game story after what happened in Madison Square Garden, where Ja didn't even play well, but he's so happy after his team won, and he's so happy for his teammates and guys like Jaren, who played great in that game, that you end up with a presser, you know, where he says, ain't no running in the end. We climb up the chimney. We ain't ducking no smoke, which is just going to forever probably live on when you think about this season. That'll be maybe the quote of the season. That doesn't happen if the Grizzlies are losing. You know, they're going to be a lot more modest had they not just beaten the brains of the Knicks. So I think that, you know, obviously everyone wants to cover a winning team. And it's even the New York media was astounded by just how fun it is, and it's way more fun when they win. That's for sure.
I'm not even going to go to the ultimate. I'll stop one round before that. Can this team play in the Western Conference Finals?
Oh, I think so.
I do too.
Yeah,
I think
so,
they can go the next one. I said it.
Yeah, I would.
I
say
think
this.
they can win it this year. I said it.
Look at the teams that are in the West and how they match up with the Grizzlies. And I think the Grizzlies are going to get out of the first round. I do. Now, there's potential there for some tough challenges depending on who's healthy.
It'll be easier after the first round.
But I think that when you match up Golden State and the Grizzlies, you've got Klay Thompson, who's not full effect Klay Thompson quite yet. Draymond Green's back is not good, and I don't know if the team is even letting on to just how bad that situation is. I don't know if Draymond is going to be back in the timetable that he put out there, 3 to 4 weeks or whatever it was on TNT. And when you look at the matchup with the Suns, I'm not saying it's a good matchup for the Grizzlies, because I think the Suns have the physicality and really the roster that can match up with the Grizzlies pretty well. But they don't have a ton of ball handlers, and the Grizzlies are really great at forcing turnovers. And so, look, I'm not predicting that the Grizzlies are going to make the finals or even make the Western Conference Finals, but I do think that they'd have a really good chance to win a series against either of those teams. So is it possible? Yes, it's certainly possible. Will they be the favorites to do so? I don't think so. But it's certainly, nothing is off the table at this point.
And right now, if the season ended today, it would be the Nuggets that they're playing in the first round. And honestly, there's been so many conversations about the Nuggets getting to full strength, getting Jamal Murray back into the lineup, and then they could compete with the top of the Western Conference. They'd be a top 4 seed if everything was even. What do you think about if even the Nuggets were at full strength? What do you think about the matchup possibly with the Grizzlies and the Nuggets?
Yeah, I think the Grizzlies are the better team out of the two. Jokic is going to do what he does, but you're happy to have a guy like Jaren to guard him.
Yep.
So that I'm not saying that completely nullifies that because Jokic is just going to get his. That's what the great superstars do in the league. But I think that the Grizzlies match up pretty well on the perimeter. There's probably going to be no Michael Porter Jr. I mean, definitely going to be no Michael Porter Jr. I think that the Grizzlies match up pretty well with the Nuggets. I think that the Grizzlies are a better team than pretty much everyone behind them. I mean, a series against the Jazz would be an interesting series. If the Jazz finish 4th, it's going to be hard for that to work out where the Grizzlies would have to play them. I think Dallas, if there's any team that can win by just pulling the Grizzlies in the mud, I think it's maybe Dallas.
Clippers at full strength.
And some nerves in that first round against Dallas.
Clippers full strength would be an interesting one, too.
And
at
Clippers
this point.
full strength would be interesting, but I don't think the Clippers are going to be full strength.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I would say I honestly don't hate that matchup with Denver. I think if you were to play against Dallas, the clashing styles of play really has a chance to at least steal a couple of games in that series. And that would probably make the Grizzlies a little bit nervous, the Grizzlies fans a little bit nervous, especially since Dallas has had their number this year. But I think that they match up pretty well with Denver. I would predict the Grizzlies to win a series.
Yeah, and you brought up Jaren Jackson Jr., having him to guard a guy like Jokic, and if Jamal Murray's there getting into the pick and roll, being able to switch. He's done a really good job this year. And, of course, the Defensive Player of the Year campaign is already starting from a lot of Grizzlies Twitter. I think an all-defense team is certainly a possibility for him. I don't know if Defensive Player of the Year is. But what do you think about Jaren Jackson Jr. and his reputation around the league as far as the one he's building on the defensive end of the court?
Yeah, I think that that Knicks game was big for him from a attention standpoint because he played so well in that game, and that was a game that was on national TV. And even though it wasn't one of Ja's best games, it definitely was one of Jaren's best games. So that helped get a little bit of attention on him, I think. And you mentioned the Defensive Player of the Year thing. That's not a long shot anymore. Like when you just look at what he's been able to accomplish on that end of the floor this season, he leads the league in blocks. If you go, his biggest competitors for that award are Draymond Green, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Rudy Gobert, according to odds makers. And he leads all those guys in steals. He leads all of those guys in blocks. He's been tremendous defensively when you just look at versatility. His on-off numbers when he's on the court for the Grizzlies versus off the court for the Grizzlies, the numbers are astoundingly different on the defensive end. And we have seen him come from completely off the radar for an award like that to now tied for the third best odds to win that award. I don't like this is not just a conversation that the Grizzlies are pushing anymore. Jaren is a legitimate Defensive Player of the Year candidate. He can totally win this. When you look ahead of him, Draymond's out. As I just mentioned, we don't know how long Draymond's going to be out, but it sounds like at least another month. And then Rudy Gobert's on a worse team. His statistics aren't as good as Jaren. And a guy like Giannis, I mean, obviously if the Bucks finish with the best record in the East or something like that, he'll be tough to beat. But I think Jaren totally deserves to be in that conversation, and he's rightfully getting the reputation as one of the best defensive players in the league because you can watch it on the floor and it's very evident, and you can look in the box score and it's very evident. He's got both things going for him, and I think that when we get to the end of the year, it's going to come down to he'll be in that mix. He'll be in that top 3 for that award.
And that's why I ask about reputation, because I feel like when it comes to Draymond Green, Rudy Gobert, Giannis Antetokounmpo, they are at the top of that list strictly off the reputation they've had in the past. And yes, they've done some good things. There's no question about it. They do every year. But I feel like with Defensive Player of the Year, and you can correct me if you think I'm wrong on this, reputation in the end is what gets you over the hump to actually winning it.
I think reputation certainly matters. But go look at Draymond's numbers. He's been great this year on the defensive end.
Of
right?
course,
Like,
yes.
He's been awesome. He hasn't played nearly
they're
as many
real.
games as Jaren. Draymond averages, like, I think half a steal more per game than Jaren. Obviously, the blocks aren't going to be the same because he's not 7 feet tall like Jaren. But, I think that those are good defensive players. But I think you're right. There's definitely an element of reputation to this as well. But that's gonna fade as the season goes along if those guys aren't playing and Jaren is playing.
Drew, it's never a bad time for any franchise anywhere to win, whether it's Alabama football that you know so well or the Patriots or, I won't say long-suffering. We've had success here, 21 years here, 10, 11 playoff appearances since the Grizzlies have been in town here. We've had some success. But for that office, for those everyday employees that a lot of people don't know, it's got to be fun for them coming to work with knowing what we're going to do this year and the future set up.
Yeah, this is not just going to be a one-year deal, hopefully. That's part of the reason why when you look at the trade deadline and all, the future of the Memphis Grizzlies, the window seems to be cracking open right now. And that's just one of the most exciting things about this is like it's not just a this year thing. The Grizzlies really have Ja Morant. They really have Ja Morant, everybody, and they really have good players around him. And it's just, I know it's hard, I guess, to wrap your head around, but it's the case. They really have him. They really have maybe one of the 5 best players in the NBA. And he's going to be here for a long time, or at least he says he's going to be here for a long time. And that's got to be one of the most encouraging things. I think it'll be celebrated widely. We all know it's coming, but it should totally be celebrated when they give him that Supermax this summer. I mean, That's going to be, and he's just locked in here for that much longer. They certainly have some decisions to make. Maybe they start now, the trade deadline. Maybe they start in the summer. But man, yeah, it really does. It looks like this team is going to be good for not just this year, but 6-7 years down the line. And how exciting is that?
Yes, very, very exciting. And how much do you think that Supermax is going to affect the money that they can pay some of these guys? I know Kyle Anderson and Tyus Jones on expiring deals. Desmond Bane's going to be due after a while for an extension. How much do you think they're going to be able to keep when they do get Ja Morant on that Supermax?
Yeah, that's the big question, right? That's for Zach Hyman and company to figure out. I think that you're going to be able – I mean, you'll be able to – you already have Jaren on a deal. If Ja does get the Supermax, which would require him to be an All-NBA player, that'll be 30% of the cap. And then but that won't kick in until the next season. So next season, Jaren's contract will kick in, and then the next season after that, Ja's max deal will kick in. And so you'll be due for a Bane extension, and I think that'll come too. We'll see what kind of deal he gets. That'll be interesting to see. But I think you have to keep those 3 together, right?
Yes.
And then with guys like Tyus is interesting to me because it all depends on the market for him. And I don't know if we have a good grasp on what that's going to look like. Historically, in the past, the backup point guard market has been relatively cheap. Now, Tyus has been maybe the best backup point guard in the league, or one of the best backup point guards in the league. But when you look at guys who average close to the numbers he's averaging now, like, for example, T.J. McConnell last summer, he was averaging just about the same that Tyus is averaging. He got just around the same money that Tyus is getting now. So can Tyus go be a starting point guard on a bad team and make more money? Maybe. Does he have interest in that? I don't know if we have a good answer to that. And who's going to have interest in him? Is a bad team going to want to bring on a mid to late 20s point guard who's definitely solid, but isn't going to wow you? I don't know. Like we don't know what the market's going to look like for a guy like that. So maybe they will have the opportunity to bring him back. Maybe they won't. I think that he's very up in the air. But yeah, eventually you have to try to figure out. I don't know if you're going to be able to keep the 4 of Brooks, Bane, Jackson and Morant all together and be able to pay them all what they want to be paid. And I think you got to start planning for that now, or at least start thinking about that now.
And I would imagine, they've been active at the trade deadlines, offseason.
In
We'll
the
see
front
what they
office,
do.
we trust.
Yes, that seems to be
They've
sort of the
earned
theme. All right, Drew, we got the Super Bowl. Bengals, Rams. Who you got, and what's the score?
Okay, I want the Bengals to win. I'll tell you why. I grew up in Louisville, Kentucky. Cincinnati's about an hour away. I went to Bengals games all throughout my childhood. I'm a Bears fan, but all my best friends in my neighborhood growing up as a little kid, they're all Bengals fans. They're all super excited. I want them to be happy. So I want the Bengals to win. I'm going to wear my Carson Palmer jersey on Super Bowl Sunday. I've got a Bengals Carson Palmer
Number
jersey.
9, no less.
I'm not sure if it still fits, but I'm gonna squeeze into it.
Just throw.
So I'm going to take the Bengals.
Okay.
I'm taking the Bengals 31-28 over the LA Rams.
Okay, there we go. 3-point game. That'd be a classic. Just throw some duct tape over the Palmer on the back of that jersey and put Burrow, and you got it all fixed.
And spell it like the Cajuns do, and you'll be in good shape.
EAUX, and you'll be all good.
Drew, did you know this is the first time in Super Bowl history it's been number 9 versus number 9?
I did not realize that.
Stafford versus Burrow.
That's right. That's right. That's fun.
But Drew, we appreciate it, man.
See you
Thanks for
tonight,
joining
Drew.
us.
Thank you.
Yeah, see you guys. Bye.
You got it.
Keep going. You can follow all of his work at dailymemphian.com and at DrewHill_DM on Twitter. Now, we have all of the hires in this NFL sort of coaching carousel done. Bears get Matt Eberflus. Broncos, Nathaniel Hackett. Giants, Brian Daboll. Raiders, Josh McDaniels. Vikings, Kevin O'Connell. Jaguars, Doug Peterson. Dolphins, Mike McDaniel. Texans, Lovie Smith. And then the Saints hire their defensive coordinator, Dennis Allen. When we come back, Brett and I will give you our best hire from that and our worst hire right here on Sports 56 98.5.
You have opinions?
The knowledge that I have matters.
We want to hear them. Call or text us on the AutoZone listener line at 360-8255. That's the AutoZone listener line at 901-360-8255.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
It's a new year. That means it's time for a floor model sale at Family Leisure. You can help Family Leisure make room for all the new 2022 products that are coming in. All floor models are priced to move right now. If it's on the floor, it's on sale. But you better hurry to get these special savings because once these floor models are gone, folks, they're gone. We're talking theater seating, massage chairs, arcades, foosball and hockey tables, all on sale. Shuffleboard tables, pool tables, they're on sale too. Plus, there's so much more on sale. And you can get New Year's deals on spas and swimming pools as well. Family Leisure needs the room for new inventory. So what's here has got to go. You can help them. The floor model sale is happening now at Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together. Happy New Year from our good friends at Family Leisure.
Folks are falling head over heels for these wheels and deals. Colin Johnston here from DeSoto Auto Sales, and it's the season of love. I'm on a mission to help you meet your match. So if you've fallen out of love with your old ride or other dealers have left you brokenhearted, we've got a solution for every situation. Low monthly payments? No problem. Low down payments? You could drive for just a couple bucks down. Trade-ins? We're paying way more than it's worth. And you could even lower your monthly payment in the process. My For the People credit approval process hooks you up with the banks and lenders who want to approve you. It's time to fall in love, Memphis, when you drive a nicer, newer car for less. I'm Colin Johnston, and I'm your dealer. For the People. See all the wheels and deals at DeSotoAutosales.com. That's DeSotoAutosales.com. Credit requires bank approval. Negative equity may be refinanced. Vehicle purchase price determines actual trade allowance. For example, 2014 Ford Fusion 0 down, $264 per month payment at 5.5 APR for 72 months. Offer absolutely ends February 28th, 2022.
Bartlett Small Engine has been serving quality power equipment since 1970. They have a full line of power equipment, parts, and services for most makes and models. Bartlett Small Engines has the best brands in the power tool industry: Honda mowers, trimmers, and generators, Steel blowers, trimmers, and chainsaws, Echo trimmers, blowers, and chainsaws, plus quality products from Red Mat and Shindawa. And they're all American made. Bartlett Small Engine is your can-do store. 6780 Summer Avenue. Call 901-386-9779.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm Brian Elder. There are a lot of ways to ruin your roof. Probably none worse than ice and snow. Google the term ice dam, and you'll understand that standing snow and ice can destroy your home's interior. Call me, 867-0303. Damaged ceilings or interior? It's time to call Brian Elder Roofing, 867-0303. We're a platinum preferred contractor with Owens Corning, so we've been vetted and trained by the best. You've known the name for years. Call me before you call your insurance company. We won't try to sell you a new roof if you don't need one. We'll measure your roof from outer space. Call me, 867-0303 or brianelderroofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Gabe Kuhn.
Nine hires made in the NFL. Some good, some bad. Some in between. But we're going to pick our best and our worst. We'll go ahead and start with our best. And, Brett, you go ahead.
Okay, what's the goal for all 32 teams in the NFL? There's one goal. What is it?
Win a Super Bowl.
Win a Super Bowl. Of all these hires, who's the only one that's been close to winning a Super Bowl?
Lovie Smith.
That's it. So he's already accomplished almost. He got there. He didn't win. It was a close game. Opening kickoff return that day. Rainey lost to Peyton Manning and the Colts. But Lovie Smith has shown that he can get to the ultimate goal game. What coach in this cycle has shown by being a head coach in this league, he hadn't fit in, that he couldn't get anywhere? Josh McDaniels.
Yep, that's one.
So my best is Lovie Smith. My worst on track record is Josh McDaniels.
And Lovie Smith.
I don't know what Eberflus can do.
Yep. Lovie Smith could very well be worst on a lot of lists as well.
He could, but he did get the Chicago Bears to one of their 2 Super Bowl appearances.
Mm-hmm. Bryant?
I am going to go for my best. I'm going to go with Doug Peterson. I think bring some stability
he
to
got
Jacksonville.
all the way, didn't he?
He got all the way. Coach of the year. I'm going to go with him as the best. For my worst, I'm going to go with Josh McDaniels.
How much was that really Josh Peterson? How much was that Frank Reich as quarterback coach bringing along Wentz and
Still has
Foles?
that ring, though.
He does, and by my metric, by my definition, he's there.
Yes. Best for me, I'm going to throw you guys all the way off. I
love it.
I go Mike McDaniel, and stick with me.
Ooh.
Stick with me. Stick with me. We saw what Tua looked like early with a defensive head coach. Not great. I mean, just he never really could get solid footing. He was average at best. The offensive staff changed yearly. There was no continuity. And even like Brian Flores tried to flirt with Deshaun Watson, so Tua was always sort of looking over his shoulder. I think Flores did a good job overall with that team, but he failed really badly at trying to lead his young quarterback. Mike McDaniel, on the other hand, is an offensive guy that has experience at acquiring pieces on O-line and teaching them a run game. He was the run game coordinator for Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco, and if there's one thing the Dolphins need, it's help with their O-line. They've spent the money on the defensive side. It's time to invest in the offensive side, and I think this is perfect for what they're trying to do. And I think he could have some immediate success there with what they've already built. The worst, and Brett, I go completely opposite of you on this. I go Lovie Smith for my worst. And I love that he's getting another shot. But
doomed to fail in that job.
He's 89 and 87 overall as an NFL head coach. It's not bad to me. But if you combine his last 2 stops
could
as a head
Belichick
coach,
win in Houston?
I don't think so. But if you combine Lovie Smith's last 2 stops as a head coach, Tampa Bay and then Illinois, he's 25 and 63.
Yeah, I don't count Illinois.
And I hate to say it, I remember him as a defensive coordinator in St. Louis. He was great as a defensive coordinator in St. Louis, But his defense and his defense last year with the Texans, 27th, and then you go to 2015 with the Bucs, his last NFL head coaching stop, they were 26th. I just think the game has passed him by to a certain extent. I love that it's a minority hire. I love that he's a lifelong football guy. He's a championship football guy.
The retread.
But the Texans have shown to be pretty dysfunctional and unfair through the Coley thing. The one bright spot, though, for Lovey is he does have Pep Hamilton as his offensive coordinator, and Pep is really good QB coach. And back-to-back years worked with Justin Herbert and then Davis Mills, and you even throw it back to Andrew Luck. He was part of the reason Andrew Luck was so good coming in.
Even by my definition of it, I think it looks bad for Doug Peterson that you had to fire a Super Bowl winning coach.
Mm-hmm. Doug Peterson, I think Frank Reich meant a lot. A whole lot. And that last year with the Eagles is staining because he couldn't keep control.
Foles beat Brady on a day that Brady had 505 yards passing. The only thing Brady did wrong that day is drop the quarterback pass.
Yeah, that was a bad drop, though.
Was a bad drop.
Terrible drop.
I think he lost in the lights, I swear. And I was there that day, and that high stadium lighting was unnerving.
Mm-hmm. Tom Brady says never say never, though, on a return. So
please.
Let's have fun with that.
I'm telling you, we're going to get it all the way until about Thanksgiving next year. You let somebody go down November 3rd, and you're going to hear it.
Well, we might have to talk to Bo Marchand about it on the other side. We'll
Let's
also
do
talk about Super Bowl week, Senior Bowl, and we might talk about a little bit of Kyler Murray. His Instagram is sort of wiped of all Cardinal stuff. We'll be right back on Sports 56 98.5.
If you need glass replaced, there's only one name you need to know. Binswanger Glass, the largest full-service glass company in the U.S. They've been an industry leader for over 145 years. For all your residential, commercial, or auto glass needs, Binswanger Glass is the name you need to know. 24-hour emergency service for all commercial customers, plus a nationwide warranty on all professionally installed glass. Visit Binswanger Glass in Midtown at 340 South Hollywood across from the Liberty Bowl. Visit binswingerglass.com. Binswanger Glass.
The NFL season all comes down to this. Super Bowl 56 with the Rams taking on the Bengals. To celebrate, FanDuel Sportsbook is hooking up all customers with a risk-free same-game parlay. New and existing customers can place any same-game parlay of 3 legs or more on the Super Bowl, and if you don't win, FanDuel will refund you. Already have an account? Just place your risk-free same-game parlay before the Super Bowl to qualify. New customers join today with promo code CASH to enjoy 56-1 odds on either team to win the Super Bowl. You can turn a $5 bet into $280 cash. FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, must be 21 and older or present in Tennessee. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Max refund $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
I often say they've set the bar for the way car business should be done at Homer Skelton Hyundai. You know how close that is. It's right there at Highway 78, Lamar Avenue, and Craft Road, the very first exit in Mississippi. I say it because they always come up with new innovations. And right now, when we've had all these shortages on new cars, Homer Skelton Hyundai is always going to come through for you. You won't pay more than the sticker price for a new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. That's Chris True's pledge. You'll never pay more than sticker price. Those other guys, they could charge you a whole lot more for that new car because they know there's a shortage. That never happens at Homer Skelton Hyundai. That's part of the philosophy and the team that's been together for about 15 years now. You want the best of service? You want the best of products? It's the combination and the trust you'll always get from the best guys around. Homer Skelton Hyundai and Genesis of Olive Branch.
Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety-toed boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nebo lights, Orco hard coolers, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps. Fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic-approved shoes. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Great quality Western, work, and safety toe boots. Hewlett & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett & Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
You already know that Sunrise on Jefferson serves up the freshest and fastest breakfast or lunch in the city with only the highest quality ingredients. But there's so much more to Sunrise. This is a place you can rush through to get something to eat. But it's also a place where, if you have the time, you can enjoy it leisurely in a great atmosphere. Sunrise is full of beautiful folk art and, more importantly, features one of the most impressive Bloody Mary bars you're ever going to see. If you have the time, there's nothing like taking it at Sunrise.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56. This hour is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Gabe Kuhn.
Yes, sir. We'll get a pick from Bo Marchant on Super Bowl 56. We'll also hear about his week in Mobile. But first, let me tell you about the title sponsor of this hour, and that's our friends at DeSoto Auto Sales on Goodman Road at 5704 Goodman Road, 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto County for that town and country experience you've come to know, love, and trust. They are very, very proud to serve DeSoto County, and they have served DeSoto County and the surrounding area very well. High standards in the car industry, all the cars test-driven, checked out thoroughly, bumper to bumper, unlimited inventory, every make, every model. And if it's not on the lot, they'll go find that special car for you. And it's challenging these days in the car business, but they'll come through for you. You'll be treated like family by kind, courteous employees, laid-back atmosphere. They care about your time. They want you to enjoy the ultimate car experience. What does that mean? It means you walk in, you find the car you want, test drive that car, credit approved, paperwork complete, and you do all that in about 45 minutes or less. It's a guarantee. It's a promise. You can do it over your lunch hour. You can do it right now, immediately after work, and be downtown at FedEx Forum in that new car for the Grizzlies game tonight. They keep it that simple at DeSoto Auto Sales at 5704 Goodman Road, 662-890-7184. Online at DeSotoAutosales.com. Head on down to DeSoto County for that town and country experience at DeSoto Auto Sales. He had that experience in Mobile once again. How many years at the Senior Bowl for you, Bo Marchant?
No, you know what? I think Jim Nagy, somebody put a thing up of the players of the year, and it was like a 10-year list, and I know that I was probably there 5 or 6, I don't know, maybe 7, so it shows my age. At least 15, Brett. At least 15.
Yeah.
At least 15.
So was Steve Hale executive director at your first?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
the late great Steve Hale. I miss Steve.
Yeah. Wow, you just saying that name is like a blast from the past. Yeah, Steve was in charge when I got to my first Senior Bowl.
Steve used to tell a great story. He played college football at East Carolina, D lineman for Pat Dye at East Carolina, and then he was D line coach for Coach Bear Bryant. Coach Bryant's last game in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, and late in the game, they're trying to hold Illinois down and keep the clock running. And one of the defensive linemen sacked Tony Eason and got up celebrating. And aging, getting ready to retire, Bear Bryant goes to Steve Hale and goes, "Steve, I thought you knew better I thought you knew to coach them, to hold them down. We're trying to work on the clock. I don't need any celebrating." And Steve said Coach Bryant, still very engaged in the game. Then it went Steve Hale to our friend Phil Savage, and you mentioned Jimmy Nagy, and Jimmy's doing a great job.
Yeah, it's a wonderful event. It keeps growing. I think the media credentials were 950. I mean, I know it wasn't anywhere near that when I first arrived at my first Senior Bowl. It's not as great as your story, but I remember my first Senior Bowl weigh-in. You're new to the system. Your first weigh-in, you really don't know what's going on, and you're walking in through the convention room, and you're going into one of the rooms where the guys are going to weigh in to get their heights, weights, hands measured, all that stuff. And I think it was an Eagle Scout. I think I don't recall, but I remember he was actually passing out the roster sheets to his Eagle Scouts, his fellow.
Yeah.
And
he's doing it himself.
Yeah, and he was passing them out. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll take one, thanks, because these aren't for you.
How was your week, though? How was your week there? Did you get to check out some of my my Memphis buddies and Calvin Austin III and Dylan Parham?
Yes, I did check them out. I thought they had great weeks, good weeks. I'm not saying they shot it over the moon and they're, but
right.
No, solid weeks. When the draw is always the offensive defensive lineman, and when those guys do their one-on-one drills and everything, I mean that is I always call it that's the final fight
war.
of the night.
Football. That's war right there.
Yeah, that's war, and you really get to see those guys go at it. And I paid a lot of attention to that. I did some other shows, and they were asking about skill guys. Absent of the quarterbacks, I said, you know what? I said I really wasn't paying attention to them. That you can only have your eyes on so many things. I mean, I can lie to you and tell you something, but to be honest with you, I was watching the quarterbacks, and I was really just enamored with watching those offensive and defensive linemen.
Respect.
So, and same
I'm
with
the same way.
Same with the Shrine game.
When I go to practice, when I go down to Ole Miss in August, look, a college receiver is going to be able to run a route and catch a ball. I want to watch the Oklahoma drills. I want to hear grunting and groaning and seeing it fly.
Yeah, Gabe, you'll love this playing the position. When I go scout a game, my notes on offensive linemen are like tenfold of any other position. I even get scolded for it because they know once I put the binoculars on a guy I like that's an alignment, I'll just watch. I get carried away because I just love watching a big, nasty offensive lineman shoving, fighting. The play goes to the left. This guy's off to the right. He puts the guy on the ground. Then he's using his head as something to help him get up with. I mean, those are the things you don't see unless you're really watching the play, and I love it.
And folks don't know how much there is to evaluate, Bo. That's what I've noticed about the offensive line position especially. They don't know about what leverage a guy is supposed to get on an outside zone play, an inside zone play. What does his knee drive look like? I mean, there's just so many things. That's probably why your notes are that long, because there is a lot of things to pay attention to.
I saw Laramie Thompson and Robert Kimdiche go at it one day, and I told the guy standing by me, I said, this is like being at a symphony.
It is. It's wonderful. And you know what?
Laramie had some feet on him, too.
Ooh, and those arms.
I mean,
Still
it was
has
like I was getting an addiction filled when I got to the Senior Bowl, just seeing guys practicing and just sitting in the stands taking notes. I mean, if that's your thing, I mean, it's a beautiful thing to sit in a new stadium. They're no longer allowed people second year at Hemlock Stadium. There on South Alabama's campus, though. And listen, I know Nagy took a little bit of rebuttal because nobody likes change, but for the players, it's a modern facility. Everything about it just it speaks of today's day
2
and age.
years,
And
nobody will care.
Nobody will care. You're exactly right, Brett. So he's doing a fabulous job. Kudos to him. Like I said, I had no complaints. Another Senior Bowl in the books. The quarterbacks, I think you leave there with, Malik Willis really being in the hot name. Kenny Pickett did, in my estimation or opinion, nothing to discredit, where he's at in terms of where these quarterbacks are going to shake out. I thought Sam Hell looked good. The Howe, and then, Desmond Ridder, he had a fabulous week. I talked to a couple of scouts down there, and, they kind of shared the same assumption. None of the quarterbacks took a giant step backwards. Everybody kind of progressed as they should and did what they needed to do for that week of mobile, which is a good thing because that just means combine and when these private workouts begin, these guys are going to have the right trajectory for a good draft selection.
And I had a feeling that coming out of the Senior Bowl that Kenny Pickett would be sort of labeled the most air quotes here pro-ready quarterback. Curiously to you, because I think everybody sort of has a different definition. When you hear pro-ready, what does that mean to you?
When I hear pro-ready, I just think of a guy that, can read a defense, can stay in the pocket, can make all the throws, has handled a pro-style defense or handled a pro-style offense and executed it at a high level. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's my opinion of it. And we know, being under center, a lot of these guys go to these, combine prep facilities, and a lot of them are learning just to take the ball, under center, something they don't do collegiately. And it's something they kind of fade away from a little bit in the National Football League. And we all know, Brett knows too, that the NFL is kind of, the college game's pushing a little bit of their influence on the NFL, if you will, in terms of how these quarterbacks are playing and how it's going to dictate and play out in the National Football League. I think these guys down there, I thought all of them, especially Pickett, and I look at Pickett, I mean, the one thing I always look at measurables, and I think the teams look at measurables. They're all, what was it? Bill Parcells, one of the coaches said, I always take a big guy over a little guy.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at Pickett, 6'3", 220, 215, that's just compared to most of the quarterbacks. Most of these guys are 6'1" guys. They're dual threat quarterbacks. They're really not a guy that's going to stand there in the pocket. Ritter's that guy. Malik Willis has that size, but Howe, Matt Corral, some of these other top candidates, they're not those typical drop back passers that you envision. When the NFL scouts are saying, hey, this is what we want. It's kind of like, this is the ideal situation. And then you start breaking it down there. Is he 6'5"? No, he's 6'2". Is he 210? No, he's 204. And then you go down there, and then that's the whole process. That's how it shakes out.
With all the people there, how flabbergasted or surprised or not were they about Joe Burrow and the Bengals being in the Super Bowl?
It is. There was a little bit of a buzz about it. I mean, listen, we know nobody expected this to happen, and I just think it solidifies how important it is to hit on a quarterback at that level, and if you do, it can change a franchise literally overnight. Change the franchise, and you see where they were a year ago. You saw where they were 2 years ago, and 2 years later, 3 years later, they're playing the Los Angeles Rams in the Super Bowl. Pretty remarkable.
Can you imagine how much easier the job just got for group suite sales, signage, corporate sales for somebody in the sales department with the Bengals?
Well, I know my wife went to the store the other day, and she came back with the Cincinnati Bengals hoodie. She asked, am I a bandwagon fan? I said, I don't know. I go, you didn't own it 3 weeks ago. You tell me.
That's right. That speaks for itself, doesn't it?
Yeah, I said, but she had such a great time. She also thinks Joe Burrow is very cute, so that helped in the team.
Doesn't hurt.
Yeah, and her girlfriends, they all think he's the coolest thing since sliced bread. So, but hey, we all have our favorites. But what's not to love? Young quarterback in his second year. I mean, there's so much to like about this kid coming out of LSU. Again, I think the most remarkable collegiate season I saw by a quarterback in my lifetime. In my opinion,
may have been.
It was phenomenal.
Yeah, especially playing quarterback, not doing the razzmatazz that Johnny was doing. Playing quarterback from the pocket, he sure did.
Yeah, he did, and the numbers, and I we all talk to people, but some of the people I talked to going through the draft process, they just spoke so highly of him. They mentioned during things that they admired about.
How did they let him out of Columbus?
That's what I'm wondering.
Say it again.
How did he get out of Columbus?
No, I think Urban Meyer
impossible question to answer though.
Yeah.
I just think Meyer liked that more athletic quarterback. He likes the guy that can.
And he won. I mean, it's not like he went 7-5.
Pick J.T. Barrett and Dwayne Haskins over Joe Burrow. I mean, that's just hearing that is pretty astounding.
Kirby gets crushed over Jake Fromm, but Urban Meyer also has won 3 national championships.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing. And listen, you know what? And I don't know this. Only probably Urban Meyer and the people in the facility and Joe Burrow himself would know that. Maybe he wasn't ready. It's easy to say, hey, this guy was there and he left. I mean, there's a reason Michael Jordan wasn't the first pick of the draft.
That's true.
Right? I mean, something went on that say, hey, you know what? Akeem Olajuwon and Sam Bowie are better than Michael Jordan. And who knows? At that time, maybe Joe Burrow was lazy.
We're going to have it here in Memphis in a few years, and I'm sad over it. But in 5 or 10 years, when we get kind of removed from it, why didn't New Orleans take Ja instead of Zion?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, and in the moment, and that's why sometimes I feel. I mean, if you hit on the pick, you look like a genius. Everything is just perfect. There's no setbacks. But when you mess up, I mean, it haunts you. I mean, like the Mitchell Trubisky pick. I mean,
the Bengals once took Akili Smith. Yeah. I mean, they know.
Right. They know. Patrick Mahomes, Mitchell Trubisky, Deshaun Watson, Mitchell Trubisky, Patrick Mahomes, that will carry on in the legacy of Bear mistakes for a long, long time, unless Justin Fields is the answer. And if he's not the answer, then we're going to look at all these quarterbacks that possibly are great quarterbacks in this draft class and go back to the well and say, listen, another mistake for the Bears. Hopefully that's not the case. But Burrow, I mean, he's the answer. I don't think there's any question. And I remember that play he made against the Chiefs last week on that third down where he converted it on the run. I said to myself, they're going to win
was
this.
it. That was the magic moment.
And good
it might not.
if they just keep him upright, I mean, imagine how much better he could
Now
be.
remember, I agree with you, Gabe, but 9 sacks and big hits to the Titans, and he kept popping right back up.
I understand that, but that's my point. Imagine what he could do offensively if he wasn't on the ground 9 times.
Hard to win flat of your back.
Yeah, and Gabe, you might not be a Bengals fan after all I tell you. I don't have my notes with me, but I don't know, say the last 10 years, 5 drafts, the Cincinnati Bengals have drafted the least amount of offensive linemen, I believe, in any team.
Well, it shows.
It's showing. Yeah, it's showing.
Jonah Williams
makes sense.
can only do so much.
Yeah, and it does show. I mean, yeah. So with that statistic, again, I don't know the exact number, but I know that's a number out there.
Mm-hmm. So we had even off the field with all these things going on, we have the head coaching vacancies getting filled. We have all 9 filled. Of those hires that were made, which ones do you particularly like? Which ones do you not like?
I thought D'Amico Ryan's getting a shot from the 49ers to go be the coach of the Texans would have been a perfect fit. I mean, You're talking about a guy who's probably arguably one of the best players in Texans history. And I thought he'd done a phenomenal job, so I would have liked to see that. Lovie Smith just seemed of an odd hire. It just came out of nowhere, if you will. I would have even Brian. I know everything going on with Flores, but I mean, why not hire Flores?
Right.
I mean,
Agreed.
I would have went after Ryan, and then I like the Dennis Allen hire. I think he's one of the more underrated coordinators out there. I think he does a fabulous job, and I also think, in terms of, you think when you bring in a new coach, you're basically bringing in a new staff. And I feel that the Saints feel that they have a pretty stable staff. They like the components and the coaches that are there, absent of Sean Payton leaving. But I think if you would have went in another direction with Allen, does Allen stay? And if not, you're getting a whole new wardrobe, if you will, of coaches in that front office and, throughout the facility. So I love the Allen move. And I wish D'Amico Ryans would have got an opportunity. I just think of just being a Texan, them looking for somebody, I just thought it would have been a perfect fit.
Yeah, and D'Amico Ryans, sadly, he might be the Texans coach this time next year.
Yeah, think about it. So I thought he'd done a fabulous job. I mean, look at Robert Saleh. He got the job with the Jets. I mean,
yeah,
he took over the same defense and it didn't miss a beat. You could almost argue it got better. So.
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned Lovie Smith as a retread. What do you think about the other retreads in Josh McDaniels and Doug Peterson?
Yeah, Doug's interesting. I think there was a lot of friction. Publicly, I think we all know that there was a lot of things going on in Philadelphia with Jeff Lurie, the owner, and how they wanted to do things offensively. So I really think they put him in a real predicament to succeed after a while. And, they wanted him to do things that team wasn't capable of doing. Hopefully he gets a fresh start in Jacksonville. So I kind of like that. We know he can work wonders with the offense, and we know that Trevor Lawrence being that number 1 pick last year is going to be the thing that they want him to do most, above all, as they get Lawrence on track and him become the franchise quarterback that they see in all these other teams that we're talking about in the playoffs. And then with McDaniels, you hope there's some success after the debacle in Denver. I shouldn't call it a debacle in Denver, but it wasn't what he wanted.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, but I don't want to just be, but and then we know how the Colts thing ended. So he takes over a team that I think surprised most. I am going to be. I thought that was Harbaugh's job. I really did. When they didn't.
So did he.
Yeah, I really believed that he was going to be there, but that's not the case. And McDaniels, I don't think he'll. If he learned from his mistakes in Denver, hopefully has a little bit more success. And then I just think of, Belichick in New England. He'll keep on doing his thing, and he won't miss a beat.
It sounds like you're like Brett and I with Josh McDaniels, where I can speak for myself for sure. I've never understood the ridiculous fascination with him. His offense. He's an offensive coordinator. He's had some success with winning games,
and used to
alongside
with a guy
Bill Belichick. But his offense is not all that. It's not fun. It's not innovative.
It's not exotic. And Bo used to. You do what he did to the Colts. That gets passed around the league.
Yeah, that was one of the most bizarre things to where think about it. You think this guy is coming to be your head coach, and then you find out that he's not. Who does that? Then he goes back for a couple more seasons, and then he ends up with the Las Vegas Raiders. It's not like you held out for the Colts, and now you've come to this franchise that's on the precipice of winning a Super Bowl. No, I mean, no, I thought they outplayed what they were last year. I don't know if they really were a playoff team, but they were. I mean, they were. It was factual they were, but I don't think anyone was at the beginning of the season like this is a lock playoff team coming out of the AFC West. And I'd even say moving forward next year, would anyone say, hey, you know what? The Las Vegas Raiders are a guaranteed playoff team coming out of the AFC West. I know at this point, I'm going to say no.
Bo, does Tom Brady, did he not get enough sort of love with his retirement announcement? Did you see what he said yesterday on his podcast with Jim Gray?
I did not. What did he say?
He said never say never about a return to the NFL.
Oh, yes, I did see that. I didn't know he said it on the Let's Go podcast.
Right.
Well, I think that's fair, and I'm glad he said that because we would be holding him to it if he said, I'll never come back. I even think about Ben Roethlisberger. We've been hearing Andrew Luck last year coming back for the Colts, and he hasn't played since, 2-3 years?
Yeah.
So, so to think that there's a team in trouble that has a nice carrot dangling, possibly a Super Bowl team, yeah, I'm sure they're going to call Tom Brady. I'm sure they're going to call a Ben Roethlisberger and say, hey, are you able to throw? I mean, look at Eric Weddle. Think about all the guys, young guys out there in the National Football League, eager to play. And I love Eric Weddle. But think about this. This guy's out of the league, and they call him up, and now he's playing in the Super Bowl. So if you're a veteran that knows the system, that they know you, and as you mentioned earlier, Brett, word gets around on who you are. That also goes when you're a standout guy and you know what you're doing. Teams hear the good stuff as well, and that's why Eric Weddle was brought back. And who's to say that, Roethlisberger or a Brady, we even heard Phillip Rivers last year as a possible guy to come back. So I would not rule out those possible scenarios, at least the flirtation of those guys being offered a job if a team runs into some emergency mode things at the quarterback position where those names aren't brought up.
All right, we're asking everybody to pick the winner and the score. So it's your time. Super Bowl 56. Who wins and by what score?
All right. Now, listen, I know the Rams are going to win this game. But that said, I'm going with the Bengals. I am. And listen, Sunday when I'm watching the game and I'm watching Aaron Donald get 39 sacks, even me saying it sounds goofy. You have Von Miller, Leonard Floyd, Aaron Donald, and a team that cannot protect anybody. And I'm going to go with the Bengals. I just think it's Joe Burrow's time. I'm going on. This is a gamble. This is not who's the better team. Hey, you know what? And if we were picking teams, we would never even say in the Bengals.
You're picking the Magic. You're rolling with the Magic.
Yeah.
I hear
I'm
you.
going with So, and I am. I'm going with the Bengals, and I'm going to say it's going to be something like 31-33. I think it's going to be a close game, but I just think the Magic of Burrow will survive somehow.
33-31 Bengals win. We have one round picker out of
this is insane.
8 people.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you guys are all picking the Bengals too?
We haven't made our pick yet.
Friday at 5:30, man. Okay. We're saving it for the big moment of the week.
We're going to have to check how the public is betting this based on what our results are on this show. This is ridiculous.
I'll give it to you now. Bo, you got the right team. You're not close on the score. It's going to be a blowout.
A blowout.
Oh.
That's
Bengal blowout.
Brett, you've been hot on your Super Bowl win.
I have been, Bo.
3 or 4 years, you have nailed it.
And predicted overtime and the exact score, 34-28.
Yeah, so, well, at least I know my gamble. I feel a lot more valid with my gamble right now.
Brett has the do factor to be incredibly wrong, though, too. We have to think about that. Bo, always appreciate it, man.
Thank you, Bo. Have a great week. What's one go-to food for you on Sunday? What do you have to have Super Bowl party?
I have to have a Miller High Life, if that's possible.
They still call that the champagne of beers? Champagne of beers?
In my world, it is, and then some pretzels.
Very good. Very good, Bo. Enjoy, man.
Yep. Stay safe, gentlemen.
Thank you.
You have a good one, Bo. And you can follow him on Twitter at Bo Marchand. What in the Brett?
Blowout.
This is insane.
Blowout.
No one is like listening to the facts here. This is not a statistic-driven pick that is being made by everybody.
Well, in statistics would not have had you pick them over maybe the Raiders at home, but you wouldn't have had them the next 2 weeks.
The Raiders almost came down and scored and tied that ball
Sure
game.
did. And then they go to Nashville. Then they go to Kansas City. Now they get to feel their hands for the first time in 8 weeks.
No one is using just logic with these picks.
Everybody loves the little guys.
I guess so. Let's go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, we'll get to what's trending right here on Sports 56 98.5.
Peter Edmiston and Anthony Sane bring you Sports 56 Grind Time. Brought to you by Poultry Power. Weekdays from 1 to 3 on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $700 on average, and those savings add up. Imagine what you could buy in the future.
Remember how 15 years ago I switched to Progressive? Well, I used all those savings to buy that golf club that swings for you. But now everyone who plays golf is really good because, the club swings for you. In the future, which is now.
So switch to Progressive and save big, because those savings can add up in the future. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National annual average insurance savings by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive in 2020. Potential savings will vary.
Belly Acres' motto is City-Fied Farm Fresh. The goal is simple: provide a fun, unique farm-to-table experience for the whole family. 2 great locations, Regalia at 6130 Poplar and in Overton Square at 2102 Trimble Place. Overton Square hours Sunday through Thursday 11A to 9P, Friday and Saturday 11A to 10P. Regalia Sunday through Thursday 10:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday 10:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. Signature burgers are made from 100% grass-fed beef. Sandwiches, salads, and the best milkshakes anywhere. The burgers, so good, like the Dare Ya or the Double Dare Ya, and the melt in your mouth. And you have to try the Voodoo Moo Moo. It is the quality brand the Belly Acres team has developed using grass-fed beef with creative homemade toppings in a fun farm setting right here in the city. The goal at Belly Acres, to become even more sustainable as they grow. In Overton Square and in Regalia, the very best quality available in Memphis, burger shakes and smiles at Belly Acres.
Acura of Memphis invites you to experience the all-new, completely redesigned 2022 Acura MDX. It's the most advanced SUV Acura has ever built. Experience the convenience of full connectivity, including built-in Alexa, Wi-Fi hotspot, and wireless charging, from the stunning interior complete with third-row seating. Stop by our state-of-the-art facility and take advantage of our aggressive APR offers today at Ridgeway and 385. Or shop online from the convenience of home now. Visit AcuraofMemphis.com.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56. This hour is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Gabe Kuhn.
Super Bowl 56 coverage starts here on Sunday from Westwood 1 at 1 o'clock. Kickoff about 5:30, and looking forward to it. I've been to 5 on Super Bowl Sunday. I really miss being there, and I was watching some today, both on CBS Sports Network and on NFL Network, seeing how they have Radio Row set up. Have y'all seen that? And the setup, instead of a table like at SEC Media Days and historically at Super Bowl Media Days, where you could kind of have like 2 people behind it and maybe 1 or 2 in front. It's in a square for COVID, and there's 4 seats because of, in a square and trying to get some separation on Radio Row. But it just builds as the week goes on. But I don't miss the time difference doing Radio Row, because you're out there and you try to book a guest and you say, hey, come by at 4:30. Well, you're meaning Memphis time and you're in San Francisco.
Yeah, Pacific time.
And they show up at that time.
Yeah, that's always. We got to deal with that booking cross country guests in general, though.
That's right. You have to be very specific with Central Time. I know this: the NFC through 55 Super Bowls, they lead 28-27. So with a Bengals win, we'll be knotted at 28-28. 8th Super Bowl in Los Angeles. 2 played at the Coliseum, including Super Bowl I between the Chiefs and the Packers. 5 at the Rose Bowl, and this will be the first one at SoFi. And there's never been, of the starting quarterbacks, we've had every number 1 through 19 except for number 6. There's never been a number 6 to start a Super Bowl. Jay Cutler, that was your shot, Dave, and the Bears.
And I don't know if Baker's getting there anytime soon.
No.
I don't know if Baker's got that one.
Number 19, Johnny Unitas, and he got a win as starting quarterback. He did not start Super Bowl III for the Colts. Earl Morrall started that day. Johnny U started Super Bowl V for the Colts in the fumble turnover fest in Miami against the Cowboys that they won on the Jim O'Brien field goal.
Mm-hmm. As far as the injuries go that we're sort of watching, I mentioned Tyler Higbee and C.J. Uzomah, both tight ends. Tyler Higbee for the Rams, C.J. Uzomah for the Bengals. Both MCL sprains, both trending toward playing.
You got to try, don't you?
Yeah, you do. But I'm telling you, from having an MCL sprain, that can get hurt pretty substantially. You can tear it pretty quickly if it is sprained and you play on it. The stability's not quite there. Also, Darrell Henderson Jr., who's been out with an MCL sprain. There's a lot of MCL sprains going around, but he's been out with an MCL sprain for quite a while. He could be activated off IR to be able to play in the Super Bowl, and that's gonna be awesome to see if he indeed does get a carry, get a Memphis guy in there in the Super Bowl.
At home, and Cam Akers is going to get plenty of work, but you can always use more. Gabe, when we were talking earlier about big guys going against each other, when we're talking about it with Bo, and I talked about Laramie against Robert, who was the guy it seemed like you always got paired off against kind of for some one-on-one?
In practice, Donald Pennington.
Juice guard.
Big Juice, big 5'8". Yeah, that was always my matchup. And then after that, O'Brien Goodson, and he was so tough to go against, man. Oh gosh, about 2 feet off the ground. He was a short, stumpy.
And under Norvell, y'all like to practice early, didn't you?
Yeah. Oh yeah, very early. Meeting starting at 5:30 a.m. Yeah, real early.
That's early.
Yeah, you gotta even as a
pads popping at what time?
8 a.m.
Ew, good morning.
8 a.m. I mean, it was rough. There's no question.
So, Gabe, are you more of an afternoon type of practice guy? Which do you prefer, morning
honestly,
or afternoon?
I preferred the morning. You get out of the way.
Oh, yeah?
Get out of the way.
Yeah.
Over with.
Yeah. Afternoon, there's too much going on. And then also in the morning, if you practice in the morning during the early part of the season, you get to avoid the real heat.
And I guess it flowed better for school as well.
Yeah. Yep. Easier to schedule things after that in the afternoon. So that was nice. But hey, I got to match up against Robert Kimdichie. And
you did.
And Breland Speaks
on a big day, and also Benito Jones.
Benito Jones, yeah, and he's still in the league, and he has flown under the Woodrow Hamilton.
Woodrow Hamilton does hang around the league. DJ Jones was in there.
Yeah, DJ Jones was, by the way, stud.
And
really,
a great
fast.
young guy.
But Woodrow Hamilton doesn't get mentioned a whole lot by the Ole Miss crowd. It doesn't feel like.
No,
he's been kicking around the league for a while
with the Panthers. Some with a couple of different teams. DJ Jones, he's one of the players at SEC Media Days one year, and standing down in the lobby of the Winfrey on Ole Miss Day, and I tell him, I go, man, you look great. He goes, new suit, you like it? I said, I love it. I said, you look great. I knew this, but he didn't. And to surprise him, his parents, I can't remember the town in South Carolina, but they got up that morning and left like at 3:30 or 4 in the morning and drove to Birmingham. And while I was standing there talking to him, they walked in the front door to surprise him at SEC Media Days.
That's awesome.
And I'm telling you, when you just think of them as automatons and number whatever and nose guard or position whatever, they are real people. He was so good. He hadn't seen his parents since Memorial Weekend.
You're going through the summer conditioning program, and you're about to start camp at that point.
And they were so proud of him.
Yeah,
and
you don't get to see
his mom says, his suit looks good, doesn't it? I said, it does. It looks great.
That's great.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Now, in the NFL,
they're very real people, Gabe.
Yes, they are, and that gets lost.
It does.
It gets lost way too often. I don't, and it frustrates me because I don't think it'll ever be found with some people.
And if you can boo a college player, I don't even want to meet you.
Yeah, I can agree with that. There's certain things. There's certain things. The guy the Ohio State player that flipped off the crowd on the road on his way out of getting ejected. I think it's okay to boo a guy like that, but generally the Brady White booing, I think that's one
ridiculous.
that's not a great look looking back on it.
I didn't bring it up. I get people at the text line don't like me bringing that up.
I brought it up.
Okay.
I can bring it up.
I couldn't believe it that day.
You can bring it up.
Yeah, I think it's fair. I think it's
and
pretty fair.
It was not a smattering either.
No, it was not.
So what I was about to say in the NFL, Kyler Murray. What do we think about this IG stuff? IG gate. He deleted everything. He deleted everything off of his
Where's
Instagram
the friction?
profile.
Is it with him and Coach McDreamy?
I don't think so. I think they're good friends. But he deleted everything Cardinal related off his Instagram profile.
Well, Cliff Kingsbury won't have a shelf life if Kyler Murray's out of town.
How much has reporting changed over the years?
Oh, I was about to say, we are now looking, not even just looking, we're doing deep dives into people's social media. We're figuring out who they're following, who they unfollowed. It's ridiculous.
We stalk.
Now in these coaching searches, I'm telling you, one of the indicators of somebody leaving, like the entire Brian Kelly back staff at Notre Dame, like assistant to the football ops and the secretary for the defensive coordinator, when they start following LSU football 2 or 3 days out, that's the indicator they're gone.
Let me go ahead and tell you, I'm glad we report these things because it's not nothing what Kyler Murray did. I mean, there's certainly something there, and I think him and Cliff Kingsbury get along a whole lot. But I did read a report how the owner is sort of shorting Cliff Kingsbury and staff out of playoff bonuses. Has not paid them their playoff bonus. I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
Well, that's not cool. I don't know if that's legal.
I look at what's going on with Kyler Murray. It's something. There's a reason he did that.
There's definitely something.
And I don't know. I mean, trading and all this other thing.
Have we started talking landing spots yet? Is it that critical mass?
I don't think we've talked landing spots yet because he's locked in for a few more years here. And I don't think I don't think the front office would be willing to just sort of let him walk, or trade him if he had a demand. But hey, that's interesting to say the least.
I never thought Lane Kiffin was leaving Ole Miss during this coaching carousel.
Because you were stalking his Twitter?
Yeah. But no, I wasn't stalking his, but I got one or two I know. I was watching their follows. If somebody had popped up Miami football, it would have worried me.
Miami got their guy, though. Miami got their guy. Outside of Alabama and Miami, there's nothing I think right this second that Ole Miss fans need to be overly worried about with Lane.
No, and I didn't think it at all during this.
Mm-hmm. I got asked this question earlier today, and I'm going to see you guys and how you go about this. And in the AFC, we obviously Joe Burrow in the Super Bowl. You have the AFC young quarterbacks, sort of the madness going on right now. Who's actually going to be on top by when it's all said and done? We had everybody said Patrick Mahomes is going to win 5. Joe Burrow, if he wins, everybody's going to say he's going to win 5. But there's a lot to go through. I got asked this question today by Johnny in my segment with him. Next 5 years, who are you taking out of Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes?
Joe Burrow, and it's not heat of the moment.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to build around him. Look what they did in one offseason for his defense.
Mm-hmm. And I understand that answer. I understand that answer completely. I mean, he's unbelievable, and he can do it with nothing around him. That's the thing that I respect about him. And he does have things. He's got Jamar Chase. He's got Tyler Boyd. He's got a really good receiving core. But his O-line was terrible.
You know what
and he
scares
still
me about
completed
Justin
the most.
Herbert? That coach.
What? Yes. But if I was starting a franchise from new, I think Justin Herbert might be my guy. 6'6", 235
and Justin Herbert
pounds.
will outlast that coach.
Smart.
They can fire that
really,
coach.
Yes.
They're not firing Justin
Really
Herbert.
smart. 5,000 yards in year 2, was the rookie of the year in his first year. I mean, I look at that guy, and yes, Brandon Staley scares the hell out of me. I don't know if I'm a big Zach Taylor guy, though. I know he's gotten him to the Super Bowl at this point, but he hadn't done anything to really impress me overly.
Burrow will outlast him, too.
That's what I'm saying. Joe Burrow, if Zach Taylor doesn't have Joe Burrow, he's not
He's
here
Zach
at this
Taylor.
position. He's probably back as an OC somewhere. And then you look at like Lamar Jackson, you wonder about him. Josh Allen, I think, is next 5 years you can expect a whole lot. And he was so perfect. He was so perfect in that Kansas City game and still lost. And that stinks.
And then to watch him at Pebble Beach and see that golf swing. Did you see that over the weekend?
Yeah, I did.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad.
He hadn't been playing a lot of golf.
No.
Where do you put his golf swing next to Tom Brady's? Tom Brady's got a good one.
Brady has a great one.
He's got a good stroke. Who else?
Tony Romo.
Tony Romo.
Tony Romo's good.
Aaron Rodgers, a little. It's still solid.
Yeah, he keeps his focus on the football field,
Right. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers, known to focus on what's going on.
Known to focus, yeah. Or Jeopardy. I'm sorry, Jeopardy.
Remember when some were saying that Justin Herbert did that rookie year in front of those
and that
antiseptic, no crowd setting? That's the
the
only
fans
reason he
would
was
throw
so
him
good?
off.
Yeah.
The fans would and also, I guess, when it comes to Justin Herbert, that you have to take into account. You have to take into account that franchise. Phillip Rivers did well with that franchise, never got over the hump. Never had a crazy amount of playoff success. I think Justin Herbert's different, though. And I think they're
Gail Gilbert
trending in
only,
the right
the
direction.
only starting quarterback in a Super Bowl in the history of the Chargers, Stan Humphries. Not Dan Fouts, not Phillip Rivers, not John Hadle.
Stan Humphries.
That's it.
The guy. Huh? The man. The myth, the legend, Stan
And that was a Steve Young show that day. What's the first Super Bowl y'all remember watching? That you consciously
would have been in '99.
Oh, that was the Rams. That was a good one to start.
I don't even want to tell you what my age was at that point.
That's okay. Brian, do you remember our first Super Bowl? I'm gonna blow y'all's mind.
Maybe, and I can't tell you the year. Probably the first one I really remember sitting down and actually watching was Saints and Colts.
It's a good one. That was a big Saint upset.
Yeah.
With that was Prince at halftime, wasn't it?
I think so.
When was Janet at halftime? Janet and JT.
That was early 2000s.
Carolina Eagles in Houston.
Right.
My first Super Bowl, Super Bowl II. We went to a friend's house because they had a color TV and we didn't.
Wow.
So you want to talk about your age?
Wow.
Oh Lord. Did
Packers
they have the
and
score?
Raiders.
Did they have the score line up at that point? Did they put up the score?
Wasn't a lot of
At
graphics.
the breaks,
No,
the graphics were at a minimal.
No, it
Go
was.
to the restroom. Now you're guessing what the score is.
Did they even have the TV network in the corners of the TV?
It was pretty minimal.
Oh. My gosh, color TV.
That was special.
I remember when my family graduated from the round screen TV to flat screen.
From the tube to the flat.
Yeah, that was a big day.
Oh, that was a huge day.
That was a big day.
It is big.
People, go
Go from black and white to color.
That's
I can tell you
Even
about
bigger.
that day.
Well, HD was a big day too. Switching to HD was
Real big,
substantial.
Super Bowl III was big because I was very much for Joe Namath, and Dad was very much traditional for Johnny U and the black high tops instead of this cocky guy from Alabama with white shoes on.
Joe Namath, Broadway Joe.
And
so
then,
you were
and then remember every play from Super Bowl IV on. Chiefs, Vikings, and then Cowboys. I just mentioned it earlier, the Blunder Bowl, Super Bowl
So
V.
Super Bowl II, there was definitely cigarettes on the sideline, right?
Yeah, it was cigarettes everywhere.
Good times. Back in the good
Heck,
old
I
days.
may have been smoking one hour. I've never smoked one in my life.
They had a fifth of KT there on the sideline. What are you talking about?
And in that Colts Cowboys Super Bowl IV game for the Colts that day. In that game that day, 2 for the Colts, 1 for the Cowboys. 3 future Alabama football coaches involved in that game. Ray Perkins, wide receiver for the Colts. Bill Curry, center for the Colts. And secondary coach for the Cowboys, Gene Stallings.
How about it? It's pretty good. That's good. That's good recall, Brett. That's good recall. I hope I have that.
I'm telling you, when you go to the Super Bowl, you get inundated with that all week. I mean, between the handouts and all the videos running of past games, I mean, you will get your Super Bowl history down.
Yeah, and we're going to have Super Bowl coverage all week. We got to get to a break, though, right now. When we come back, we'll wrap this edition of Sports Time up with Taco Bell Crunch Time.
Be sure to follow us at Sports56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows. Stay up to date with station events and have chances to win prizes from Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
It's a new year. That means it's time for a floor model sale at Family Leisure. You can help Family Leisure make room for all the new 2022 products that are coming in. All floor models are priced to move right now. If it's on the floor, it's on sale. But you better hurry to get these special savings because once these floor models are gone, folks, they're gone. We're talking theater seating, massage chairs, arcades, foosball and hockey tables, all on sale. Shuffleboard tables, pool tables, they're on sale too. Plus, there's so much more on sale. And you can get New Year's deals on spas and swimming pools as well. Family Leisure needs the room for new inventory. So what's here has got to go. You can help them. The floor model sale is happening now at Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together. Happy New Year from our good friends at Family Leisure.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Of course, we have everything you need for that big brake job. Right now, you can save 15% when you buy any Duralast brake pads and any 2 Duralast rotors. It's a great way to save while you take on the full job. Oh, and here's a tip for you. Go for a nice, easy drive after you finish the job. It'll help you break in your new brakes. For more tips, visit AutoZone.com/DIY. Restrictions apply.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
The NFL season all comes down to this: Super Bowl 56 with the Rams taking on the Bengals. To celebrate, FanDuel Sportsbook is hooking up all customers with a risk-free same-game parlay. New and existing customers can place any same-game parlay of 3 legs or more on the Super Bowl, and if you don't win, FanDuel will refund you. Already have an account? Just place your risk-free same-game parlay before the Super Bowl to qualify. New customers join today with promo code CASH to enjoy 56-1 odds on either team to win the Super Bowl. You can turn a $5 bet into $280 cash. FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, must be 21 and older or present in Tennessee. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Max refund $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
I often say they've set the bar for the way car business should be done at Homer Skelton Hyundai. You know how close that is. It's right there at Highway 78, Lamar Avenue, and Craft Road, the very first exit in Mississippi. I say it because they always come up with new innovations. And right now, when we've had all these shortages on new cars, Homer Skelton Hyundai is always going to come through for you. You won't pay more than the sticker price for a new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. That's Chris True's pledge. You'll never pay more than sticker price. Those other guys, they could charge you a whole lot more for that new car because they know there's a shortage. That never happens at Homer Skelton Hyundai. That's part of the philosophy and the team that's been together for about 15 years now. You want the best of service? You want the best of products? It's the combination and the trust you'll always get from the best guys around. Homer Skelton Hyundai and Genesis of Olive Branch.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm Brian Elder. There are a lot of ways to ruin your roof. Probably none worse than ice and snow. Google the term ice dam, and you'll understand that standing snow and ice can destroy your home's interior. Call me, 867-0303. Damaged ceilings or interior? It's time to call Brian Elder Roofing, 867-0303. We're a platinum preferred contractor with Owens Corning, so we've been vetted and trained by the best. You've known the name for years. Call me before you call your insurance company. We won't try to sell you a new roof if you don't need one. We'll measure your roof from outer space. Call me, 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Gabe Kuhn.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy! This is for all the biggest crunch time. You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye! Hello, Haskins.
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin, this baby is over. The double steak grilled cheese burrito, so good. Double the steak with nacho cheese sauce, seasoned rice, red strips, sour cream, and the 3-cheese blend wrapped inside a warm flour tortilla, with even more 3-cheese blend grilled on the top. The double steak grilled cheese burrito, it hits the spot now at Taco Bell. And at Taco Bell, when they say they are feeding people's lives with unexpected good, they mean it. Bowl food you can't get anywhere else.
What I learned today is that Rich Bisaccia, who I really wanted to see get that Raiders job.
Oh, yeah.
He's actually going to be on Matt LaFleur's coaching staff. He landed on his feet, so he's going to get a special teams coaching
That's
job.
his bag. That's his specialty.
But at the same time, I wanted to see him get a head coaching job. I'm glad to see him, though, get a check for next year.
Yeah, and he loves the special teams. I learned Tom Brady already talking about coming out of retirement. I didn't get it out good last week, and he's already talking it. The big truth, though, he didn't get enough attention last week. Starving for it. They always are. They're an addict for it.
If we're being honest, I think that's the case. I really do. Because the Brian Flores thing definitely hit it. Big Ben definitely hit it. There's a lot of things.
Well, he didn't get to do it on his time, on his time frame.
Yeah, Adam Schefter and Jeff Darlington dropping the news. So, yes, I agree with that. What I could have done without today, Bradley Beal will miss the rest of the season due to a surgery needed on his left wrist. The Wizards earlier this month said Beal was diagnosed with an injury to the how do you even say this? Scapholinate.
There you go.
Scapholinate.
Sounds painful.
Yeah.
Ligament, and would be reevaluated in 1 week. That process revealed he needed surgery. So
if you were a doctor,
done.
What kind of medicine would you want to be the specialist in? If you were Dr. Gabe Kuhn, Dr. Bryant Dacus, what would y'all want to be? And don't say one specialty. What kind would it be?
What kind of specialty in medicine?
I don't know.
I wouldn't want to do checkups, so I wouldn't want to be. I guess I'd just say sports medicine. I know
Sports
that's
medicine's
lame.
good.
I know that's lame.
General practitioner.
Well,
hit the golf course at 1 o'clock every day.
Yeah, but then again,
and if it gets too heavy, refer them to the specialist. You need to go see Dr. George Flynn.
I don't know.
I'm just a general practitioner.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't understand how those emergency room doctors. I don't know how they do what they do. Trauma doctors.
I don't see how what Taylor does what she does.
Oh, that's tough. It's tough. But you have to have somebody do it.
Yeah, we do.
But
my
you
time.
could have done without.
I'm sorry, I threw us off. The Bengals offensive line versus the Ram D line. I know that's the big story, but Joe Burrow got sacked 9 times against Tennessee in Nashville and popped up every time. He gets up and keeps fighting. You dismiss Joe Burrow at your own peril.
Ominous.
Okay, that sounds like a little SEC bias.
Oh, I got SEC bias
Just
on the other
means
side.
SEC
I got
bias.
SEC everywhere, Gabe.
I guess so, but that's the recent SEC bias. I'll throw it there. Also, Trevor Bauer will not face any criminal charges in the LA court system based on what he did
How did all
as
that
far
just
as
go
the
away?
sexual assault,
It's wild.
I don't know how that just went away.
Does he play again?
I don't know.
Seems like it.
The MLB is still investigating him. That investigation is still open with
Seems
the
like
MLB.
Does he play for the Dodgers again?
I don't know about that.
I don't know.
That seems like
Does he even have an opportunity to play this year is the real question.
Yeah.
We might not have baseball, so.
Baseball.
Thanks, Brian.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Well,
Thanks for reminding us.
Break
of the
my heart,
depression.
baseball.
Just the depressing part of it. What we're looking forward to tonight, of course, we're looking forward to Clippers Grizzlies, but also Auburn at Arkansas at Bud Walton. Going to be rocking.
Woo pig.
Number 1 Auburn against the Razorbacks. Also, the Grizzlies can go to 20 over 500 tonight. 20 over 500 on February 8th.
How about that? That's that. Oh my gosh. I don't know how. There was no one with any idea. Any
nobody even took
process,
nobody even took a homer flyer like
ballpark,
this.
Not even in the ballpark on this type of thing happening at this point in the season. Also, Bryant, I heard that Kim K is being accused of putting a hit out on Kanye.
No, other way around. She's accusing Kanye
Of putting a
hit out on
okay.
her. Ridiculous, utterly ridiculous. Kanye's just trying to be a good father.
If true, shouldn't the FBI be involved in this?
Exactly. Not social media. It's ridiculous. Kim K is a terrible mother. Kanye's just trying to be there for her kids.
Good Lord. Oh, gosh.
You can't put all this on me in the last minute of the show.
I was going to say, it sounds like you're not a Kanye fan at all. That's all we have for today. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to Dave Voloshin, Becky Dinstall, Brent Beard, Drew Hill, and Beau Marchant for their contributions to the show. For Brett, for Bryant, I'm Gabe. Enjoy your night. Be safe. We'll holler at you tomorrow at 3.